this over here, and then if Karen sits next to me and says anything, I'll move it. Yeah, something. It's because when I look into the monitor, then I can speak into the microphone instead of vice versa. Otherwise, you won't hear me. It's Tuesday night. This is the night where they usually put me on Chess TV from 9 to 11, which will be in an hour. And then we have lots of people watching. Usually at least 2,000. However, before that happens, we have 200 to 500 people watching. And so forth. Karen's going to raid me, so I'm not going to start the vegan meat of the stream until then. Hello. Yeah, have a good evening. Yeah. Normally Tuesdays I just do a lot of tournaments, but I decided to do something else. We're going to look at one game of each world champion, not including Ponomarev and Khalifman, who I really don't consider world champions. And we'll talk about the schism that happened, in the 1990s and 2000s between Kasparov and FIDE, which made their different kinds of world champions depending on your point of view, and it became a lot like boxing until Anand took care of all that, and so forth. Let's see, I'll refresh. So my question is, if I go to another window, do you guys see it? So let me see. I don't want you to see these random windows with games in them. It doesn't look like you do. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Looks like this time you don't. Okay. Good morning. Basta, are you Seth Homa? I'll have a croque monsieur, the paella, 2 mutton pills, and a stein of mead. That is correct. Sounds a lot like Mr. Burns. When you do the championing, somebody translate? Does somebody here speak jive? Can you stream in an hour? I will be streaming in an hour. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's the Roswell That Ends Well episode. That used to be my favorite episode, but I've seen it like 80 times. If you keep watching it, Kangaroo, it won't be your favorite. But it was my favorite for many years. Roswell That Ends Well is the name of the episode. That is a good line. Sir, your wife is hysterical. So all women. I could use a whole roast. Yeah, that is a good... You saw it for the first time today? Wow. Yeah. Screw you, causality. Yeah, that's a great episode. I agree. Especially since I live in Roswell now, but it's a different Roswell. Yeah. How much is this buffet? It's free. Oh. I mean, you go for the super GMER. Yeah, Master Minecraft, you should say no to drugs, I guess. I'm wondering if English is your 7th language or something. Yeah, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. If somebody can translate into English what he's saying, that would help. I've never seen Futurama. Yeah, there's a lot of great episodes. The 4th season is the best season. Bugalo episode is good, of course. They're all good. Yeah. Do you do any more videos on YouTube? Every day we post videos on YouTube. So yeah, probably we post 3 videos a day on YouTube. So I'm going to say yes. Hello. Hi to Brazil. Hi to Turkey. Let's see. You flop the nuts. Jive Turkey. Yeah. Hello from the U.S. Hello. Karen's going to raid in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Hello from Australia and or Austria. Nobody knows. Let's see. Margarito. Yeah, there's videos every day where I teach classes. Yeah. Seems like the chat is confused. Their English isn't very good, and they're not good at looking at YouTube. Shocking. Rick and Morty, great. I watched some last night at 3 in the morning. Hello to Israel. The Real Greg subscribed. He's the real Greg. What are the best books for beginner intermediate? No idea. Yeah. Someone teach Margarito how to look at YouTube. Yeah, they should feel bad. Yeah. Manmoth subscribed. 21 months. 29 months. God damn. What are today's plans? They are in the name of the stream. We are going to look at one game from each world champion. And I did not include Ponomarev or Halifman because I don't consider them real world champions. Futurama quotes is good. Hello from Palestine. Good, good. It's 2 a.m. Well, if you live in Europe, that would be your fault. You should live in the eastern time zone of the U.S. That would make more sense. Why you would live anywhere else is strange. It's 2 a.m., 2 a.m. The late Philip J. Fry episode, is that the one where he's stung by a bee, but it's actually Leela that's stung by the bee and she thinks he's dying or dead? Or is that another episode? I assume since she thinks he's dead the whole episode, that's the one, the late Philip J. Fry. But I mean, he probably died in a lot of episodes. Yeah. Go Futurama. Zab Brannigan's a great character. Judge Whitey's a great character. Yeah, I mean, Judge Whitey, every time he shows up, is great. Yeah, the Santa episodes are good. I'll make my own stream with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget about the other stuff. The lawyer chicken is great in every episode. Yeah, especially the Freedom episode. Yeah. The guy says, I'm not some big city fancy lawyer like my opponent over there. Yeah. That's right. Golden earring's good. That is true. Peter Griffin without the beard. Somebody said that on YouTube. Yeah. Peter Griffin doesn't have a beard, although there's an episode where he does. Interesting episode, too. He has birds living in his beard. So I'll start looking at the World Championship games as soon as I get rated. That'll give people a chance to get here. And then if you're not here, you can raise your hand. We need one more, something for the train to happen. Either a donation of 100 cent to dues or a sub. The stream, it tells you how long the stream has been going for under the stream. And also if you type exclamation mark stats, it tells you. The stream's been going 8 minutes and 33 seconds at the moment. Go merch. Yay, Karen's raiding with a party of 61. And as soon as she raids, the train starts. Tariq DC started the train. That's correct. Hey, Jude. Take a bad position and make it better. The minute you raid my stream, the train begins to make vegan butter. Nerdnay subscribe. Frankly... Hello from Israel and or Palestine. Hooray. Don't worry, Bird is going to play Bird because the bird is the word. That's why I look like Peter Griffin. Just need some balls on my chin and we're all good. This is the last train to Clarksville. And I'll meet you at the station. We'll be there by 4:30. Make your reservation. Don't be slow. I wasn't sure if you're going to hang out with me or not.
Yeah, I thought that was the plan.
Yeah, then I have to move this back over there.
Oh, because I was telling everybody, he's not even going to start without me, so don't leave the stream. You gotta wait.
Right, I didn't look at any of the GM, like the World Championship games.
Okay.
I did the World Champions by memory, and when I counted the windows, Kasparov was the 13th window, so that means I did it right up to him. And then I did Karpov. I didn't know the Kramnik, Topalov, Anand World Championship order because FIDE and Kasparov were, like this, son. Somebody in my YouTube video said, what's the origination of like that, son? Do you know what it is? Like that, son. Do you know who says that a lot?
I don't know where it came from.
Dave Chappelle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. The funniest one is when he's a prospective juror in different cases, like Beretta and Michael Jackson and somebody else. Nelly, not Nelly. Who's the guy who slept with all the 13, 14-year-old girls and peed on them? What's his name? R. Kelly.
R. Kelly,
Yeah. No, R. Kelly's our guy. Okay.
Okay.
Grunge War. Thanks, Grunge War. So anyway, there's a scene where they ask Michael Jackson, they say, well, or they ask Dave Chappelle, they're like, well, this person described Michael Jackson's penis, so. And then he's like, look, my penis and me are like, that, son. And then he continues on. He says that more than once, but that's the funniest one. And then he says, look, I've never seen Michael Jackson's alleged penis, but I think I could describe it. Then he describes it. Then the one's like, that is correct. See? I like the way he says it's alleged. I like this. All right, let's see. R. Kelly, that's right. We're at Pro Baddie subscribed for 10 months.
I'm gonna grab my bag.
Somebody subscribed for 29 months.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see. Go, everybody. Yeah, the Chappelle show's great. Yeah. They could do that stuff with digital effects. You see, I didn't even just do that. It's not clear if I've been streaming 29 months or not, but it is clear that somebody subscribed for 29 months. 5 cents to dues. That helps the train, except for one thing.
I should not have won my last game.
You should always win, even when you lose.
Funny.
Has Twitch existed for 29 months? I think the Chess Bros have been streaming for 6 years. So I guess yes.
They were the original chess ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is your last day of sub. Can you name all the world champion runner-ups in order? Isn't it runners-up? Yes. And by yes, I mean no. By the way, if you're not busy sometime, and none of you are ever busy, you should somehow go to the internets and look at the games between Steinitz and Chigorin from their world championship match. There's good, there's not good. Those games were not good. And I think, although I could be wrong about this, I think Chigorin got mated in 9 moves one game. Those were the finest players. All of their moves were like every move was double question mark. So I don't know about that. Yeah, Manmoth is like Chigorin hung Maten too. Yeah. I mean, Korshka hung Maten too against Karpov in that double rook versus rook and 2-knight ending. So, that happens. Yeah.
That's right. It has some chocolate in there too.
Mm-hmm. The tooth hurts.
So I was just trying to get it out.
Why do grandmasters have such good memory? Grandmasters don't have a better memory than other people. People who are good at whatever they're doing spend a lot of time at it. So I remember chess stuff, but if it's any other stuff, I don't remember it because I'm not good at it. Sort of like if you're good at something at some point in your life, it might happen in a few years. Any of you might get good at something. It's unlikely, but it's possible, right? So if you were like an airline pilot and you walked into the cockpit, you'd be like, yeah, that's the cockpit and that's the controls. And if I walked into the cockpit, I'd be like, why are there 95 controls? I don't know what any of them are. Then that wouldn't be good. But somehow the pilot knows what all of them are and what they do and what to do. And then we live. Unless we're on Rick and Morty, and then Morty keeps trying to change what happened, and then the plane crashes, and then he finds the thing, then he goes back, and Rick tricked him, and all that stuff actually did happen, and that's because he didn't like the fake vat of acid. Right, sweetie?
Maybe.
Yeah, Karen says possibly, that's true. Yeah. Should make fun of Rick's vat of acid. He thought that was a good idea. Jimbo Matthews subscribed for 19 months. That's right.
Okay.
Unless you're in the movie Airplane. Airplane, that's right. Yeah.
I might bring my other chair.
What's happening? I guess the stream's never going to start. I don't know. Karen's doing some kind of dance. I don't know. Let's see. Then Morty kissed the vat. Kiss the vat, Morty. That's right. Yeah. Let's take some pictures. All right. D Rush subscribed with Prime. Today's D Rush gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
I think if I sit in this chair, we don't both fit in the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try that.
You can do it. I don't think that matters.
I think it does.
Now, this guy, should I ban Manmoth?
No.
Let me tell you why I'm going to ban him. Then you might agree. You ready?
Yeah.
He said the best group ever is Rush.
Yeah, this.
Have you ever disagreed with anything more?
Oh, you can get closer.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't hate Rush.
Are they the best band ever?
No.
Are they top 100?
Well,
No.
I don't know.
No.
Probably not.
No.
I mean, yeah.
What? So I should ban them.
No.
All right, for $1 trillion.
Just get over.
For $1 trillion. I'm like, my chair's over your chair.
I know.
I can scoot over. Which way?
Towards me because you're off.
But
camera.
like my chair's over your chair. So like scooting over is hard.
There you go.
Okay. Who's the lead singer of Rush?
We talked about this recently. Darn.
We did?
Yeah.
All right.
I always forget his name.
It's your favorite singer. Geddy Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
He was related to Robert E. Lee, except for one thing. On Family Guy, Stewie was playing with these, like, kind of toys. And he says, "Oh, are those Lincoln logs?" And he says, "No, those are Lee logs."
Oh,
And he says, "Lee logs, what do you mean?" Like there's Lincoln logs and there's Lee logs. And he says, "So are there like houses?" He says, "There are quarters." And then he says, "Does anybody buy these?" He says, "No, it doesn't sell very well." Go Stewie.
You told that,
Yeah, okay. And NSYNC is better than Rush? Should I ban that person? So my next question is
No.
NSYNC better than anybody?
Well, what's funny is Nikki got banned one time.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Nikki.
No, wait a minute. NSYNC, are they better than anybody?
No.
Right.
You're-
Right.
But we can't ban.
What? What do you mean NSYNC is better?
Nikki almost got
NSYNC
banned.
is probably better than somebody. Yeah, NSYNC probably is better than One Direction. Probably.
That's true, Broadway.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So what I try to do in most instances, but not all instances,
Yeah.
is find games that people didn't know. However, I couldn't resist with like Petrosian, for example. Okay. I mean, I had to show, some games are just, they go beyond. Okay. So this is Bird Steinitz. Now, the Bird opening is named after Bird, right? And what would Peter Griffin say?
Bird is the word.
The bird is the word. That's right. What move starts the Bird opening? What move did White play?
F4.
That's what he played. Well, I thought he played it. Okay, right. Now, Steinitz played the From Gambit, which I play a lot on stream, E5. And now White could play E4 and transpose into the King's Gambit, which some people do, but he took. Okay, I usually play Knight C6 here because D6 is the most common, but I've played D6. Okay, now Black is threatening checkmate. It's not Black's turn. If it was Black's turn, which it's not, what would Black do to checkmate White?
Let's see. You've got it.
Drunk Monk said, "What's a bong? Should I ban him?" He was kidding,
See
though.
what happens if you go Queen H4.
Probably White would play G3 in that
Block.
position. Then what?
Then you could take with the bishop.
Right, but taking with the Queen's more spectacular.
Oh yeah,
Nicola donated 1,000 centidues. Now, Karen's pause
I see it now.
almost makes me think she took with the bishop to take the rook on H1. I hope not.
And then
Thanks, Nicola. You're the best.
does it matter?
No, you take either way on G3, then you take on G3 again.
Right.
Right. All right. Now, if you had to give a letter grade to groups,
Yay,
okay, who's
thank you,
better,
Nicola.
Rush or REO Speedwagon?
Rush.
Yeah, was it close?
Mm-mm.
Man, harsh.
No.
I mean, you're probably right.
No.
Okay, knight f3, stopping mate. You agree. Grandmasters today, if they had black, and they wouldn't, would play g5 to play g4. Okay, Steinitz played knight f6. d4. Knight c6. Black's just developing. Both sides develop their pieces. Okay, now Steinitz played queen d7 because he wants to castle queenside, which ruins his pawns. So his pawns got ruined, right? Okay, and white's better here, but it's very dangerous.
Was the bird named after him?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. Now, this happened a lot a couple of centuries ago, and nowadays with low-rated players. Instead of developing your pieces and castling and coming up with good ideas, they played for tricks. And sometimes they played their tricks, and they were like, yay, I played my trick, and they lost anyway, which is what happened here. So instead of playing normal moves like knight c3, the bishop f1 developing and castling, white played bishop b5 because he wanted to play d5. And Steinitz, for the first time ever, because this game was played in the 1800s, it's the first time this happened. He said, whatever. That was the first time that happened.
And what year you said 1800s?
Well, I don't know what year, but I can go look if my mouse ever worked.
Yeah, we should.
1866.
Wow. that's
Okay, 800 years after the Battle of Hastings, right? Okay. Okay, so this must be Wilhelm the Conqueror. Okay, now, he castled queenside, and white was like, yay, Steinitz fell for my trick. Now white's actually close to losing because white's pieces are all here. Okay, players a long time ago, they sort of played for one-move tricks instead of... Okay, so black played queen e7, which unpins the knight, you agree, and also threatens e3. Well, if white defends e3 and black moves his knight away, then that white's tricks didn't work. So white's like, I'm gonna take that knight. Now, he didn't take it with the pawn, probably because bishop b4 check attacks the queen and the king, which I can show you. See how the king's attacked and the queen's attacked? You see what I'm saying? All right. So he took with a bishop, and Steinitz ignored that. Queen takes check. Okay, king f1's the best move, and white's completely lost. But he played queen e2. Okay. Also, Steinitz is black, so I should flip the board. I should have flipped the board when we started. Let's go back to the beginning so you're less confused. They're still confused, but they're less confused. Okay, and this is the game we just looked at. Notice how Steinitz moves a different piece every move, which is the way I teach. Every move, he moves a different piece. Unbelievable. Okay. And then he played queen c1 check and queen d1. And now he sacrificed again. The engine actually announces mate here. You see how the bishop defends e8? So he didn't care. He played rook e8 anyway. Okay, and you can see all of his pieces are attacking, right? Okay, king f1 is not good because I take the queen with check. So king f2, check. You can't play king g3 because there's a bishop there. So king f1, right? Okay, now this queen is overworked. The queen's defending the knight, right? It's also stopping mate. So after bishop takes f3, you can't take it with the queen because queen e1's mate, right? So take with the pawn. Okay. Then bishop c5 threatens mate. How do you stop mate? What's funny is Steinitz played like sort of swashbuckling kind of chess, Morphy style. And then when Steinitz was older, in his 40s and 50s, then he played sort of slow, tedious, boring. But when he was younger, he played like a lunatic. Queen d2 is fine. Notice how the queen is defending the f-pawn, right? So after queen d2, it's not defending the f-pawn, and that leads to mate. You see what I'm saying? Right, so queen d2 is not good. What else you got?
Well,
Exactly.
I mean, doesn't seem.
What would Forrest Gump do?
I don't know.
He'd run. Run, Forrest, run. So he played king g2.
Yeah.
You got to run away. Right, and he's got 2 big pieces, one for each of the kings. So he played rook g8 check. Now, if you go back to f1, this is mate, you agree.
Mm-hmm.
And the other legal move is here. There was no other legal move. And black has mate in 1, but there's only one way to do it. How does black mate in 1?
Queen h6.
Well, always retreat, right? So after rook g8 check, Bird resigned. Good development by Bird, right? Okay, that was a typical Steinitz game against a weaker opponent, although his opponent's quite well known. But you can see, instead of developing his pieces and castling, Bird spent a lot of time trying to like win a pawn and win a piece and leave all his pieces on the back rank. So this is typical of like, you know, the game's Morphe one. Yeah. Yeah. He started a shrimp business. Also possible. Yeah. His king was developed, Spencer says. He says, what's wrong with that king? It's pretty active. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, if you look at a lot of games from 150 years ago, the guy who lost, you can see a lot of that. That's not good, right? Now, you remember my game with Tukmakov from Reykjavik 1990. Around move 14-ish, my opponent's king was on e7. He was black. And all of his pieces are on the back rank. That's the Soviet school of chess. I mean, you don't want to do that, but sometimes that happens. Okay, so that was that game. Next game is from the next world champion, Karen. Who was the next world champion after Wilhelm Steinitz? You could say, I don't know, but I'll ask her.
Oh, Lasker.
Right, and what was Lasker's first name?
Darn.
No, wasn't Darn Lasker.
There's a couple of Laskers.
That's
too.
correct, yeah.
And if I could.
And not only this, are you ready for
one
this?
of them's Emmanuel, right?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
The other one I saw. The other Lasker I saw.
You saw.
Like I stood next to him.
Oh. When you were a kid?
Yes. I was 9 and he was over 90 and he died like in a few months.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. It was at Montreal 79. Edward Lasker was there. God damn. Also, I played Dake. Dake was so old. Here's how old Dake was when I played Dake. We drew, by the way. Dake played like in the Olympiads in the 30s. So that's not somebody normally I would meet, right? Dake was so old, it was in Portland where he lived, the U.S. Open. So he gave a speech at some dinner they had for him. And he said, it's great to be here at the 1977 U.S. Open. And it was 1987.
Aw.
And everybody's like, all right. Yeah.
How do you spell Dake?
D-A-K-E.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds.
Okay, so the next game from Emmanuel Lasker, the world champion. By the way, the famous Lasker-Thomas game, where he sacks his queen and the guy's king runs up the board all the way to G1, and white could have castled with mate, but he played king D2 mate. That's the other Lasker. Okay, this is Lasker, and he's black against Chigorin. Now, I'd like to point out, Lasker's a very underrated world champion. Lasker was really strong. He was world champion for more than 25 years. Pretty good, right?
That's good.
Okay, Chigorin was basically the first good Russian player. Russia didn't play chess, and then they're like, all right, let's play chess. And they hate Chigorin's pretty good. Then they were all good in the 30s, 40s, 50s. But this game was played a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away before After MASH, but after MASH. This was played in 1895 in St. Petersburg. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not, we have a picture in the tournament room, and the players from St. Petersburg, 1895, are in that picture. And there's a picture of Chigorin sitting there or standing there, and there's a picture on the wall of the picture of where they are of Chigorin. So the picture has Chigorin, Pillsbury, Lasker, and I think Capablanca, but I could be wrong. I'm definitely wrong. It's not Capablanca. It's Lasker, Pillsbury, Chigorin. I forgot who the fourth person is. There's a fourth person. Steinitz. Steinitz, Lasker, Pillsbury, Chigorin. And they're there like looking at chess, the four of them. And on the wall of where they are, there's a picture of Chigorin.
Oh, okay.
So he's in the picture twice. Okay. Anyway, Chigorin's white against Lasker. Chigorin played world championship match against Steinitz, but he forgot how he did. He didn't do good. Yeah. Frankly, ridiculous. Right. Isn't Petrov before Chigorin? Well, this is Lasker. Chigorin is... Oh, you mean is Petrov a good player before Chigorin? Maybe. I don't think Petrov was as good as Chigorin. Okay, so they played a Evans Gambit. What move would White play here, making it the Evans Gambit? It's a gambit, so you can guess if you don't know.
I think it's B4.
That's right. That's named after whom?
Wasn't he a captain or something?
That's right. Captain Evans. Yeah, he was a ship captain.
But what was his name? First name?
I think William. But I knew his name and then I forgot because I got under pressure. Yeah. He wasn't as strong a chess player. Okay, so he played B4. Okay, Lasker's black, by the way. Okay, typical Evans Gambit. Plays A4, which is a very suspicious move because White's trying to get a big center and attack the... It's A4, like what? Okay, Lasker just ignored that. Bishop B5. Now he really is threatening A5 because the bishop's trapped. All right. But playing bishop C4, A4, bishop B5, that's done in the spirit of the Evans Gambit. Okay? Which is funny because right now, Evans is a spirit. In fact, both Evans are dead. Who's the other Evans? American Grandmaster. He died about 10 years ago. I'm guessing it was 10 years ago. I don't know.
Evans.
Larry Evans.
Oh.
He played in U.S. championships in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. He's one of the top 10 players in the U.S. Okay, so A6. A lot of younger people who have heard of Larry Evans think that's the Evans Gambit, which is funny because the Larry Evans, the American Grandmaster, he hated gambits. He said gambits are all terrible. Whereas the Evans Gambit is the... All right. Okay, so he traded in A5. Bishop went back. So black has the two bishops and an extra pawn. White's development's very suspicious. Takes, knight takes, queen E2. Yeah, I mean, black's just winning. Black's up a pawn with the two bishops. Okay, now here's the reason I like this game. A lot of times when you're winning, because you have certain advantages, two bishops, better pawn structure, safer king, more material, whatever, then you're like, oh, I'm winning. Now I'll just win because I have good technique. Okay, what Lasker did in this game in particular was when he was winning, he would get more and more winning. He wouldn't be like, oh, let's play solid and passive. He would play the most computer-like move that increased his advantage. So instead of being +2 and just winning the game, if he saw a way he could be +3 or +4, he would do that even if it was risky because he trusted his own analysis. So this should be quite an easy win for black just by playing standard, boring, normal moves. But that Lasker didn't do that. Lasker took Chigorin out back and then some. All right. So he played knight d4, attacking the pawn on c6, right? So most people would play like bishop d7, including the engine. Also queen d7. Okay, Lasker played a tactic. Can you find a tactic here? It's removing the guard. What move could black play that removes the guard?
Let's see.
Don't read the message I sent 2 minutes ago? Okay. Bill Evans was on an episode of The Jeffersons. What happens is
Knight takes.
Bill Evans is moving a piano into the Jeffersons' apartment, and it basically takes up the whole apartment. You know the Jeffersons, right? Mm-hmm. They put a grand piano in the living room, so then nobody can walk because it's still the whole room. And George did that to impress Mr. Whittendale, probably. And the guy who delivered the piano was Bill Evans, the pianist. And he was just delivering the piano to do a favor for a friend. I mean, in the show, not in real life, who couldn't move the piano. And then George said, get this piano out of here because it took up too much space. And he says, why? And he says, this piano's no good. It's out of tune. It doesn't work. So Bill Evans sits down and plays the piano. And then they're like, how do you play the piano? You're a piano mover. He's not a piano mover. I'm helping a friend out. Then Mr. Whittendale's there, and he says, wow, you're the great piano player. You're my hero. Come play at my place. And then it all works out, right? Mm-hmm. They thought I didn't know who Bill Evans was, but I just told his whole life story. Teak DC subscribed.
Yay.
The idea of the Evans Gambit, which we don't see this game, is for White to build a big center and gain a tempo or two while he's doing it. So while Black's moving his bishop every move, and you will acknowledge Black does move his bishop a lot. He played bishop here, then he goes bishop here, then he goes here, then he goes here, then he goes here. Mm-hmm. And while he's doing that, White's getting a big center. So when White wins in the Evans Gambit, it looks pretty good. When White loses, you're like, why do White give that pawn away, and what's he doing? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, of course, in this position, which has a lot of theory, Chigorin's moves don't make any sense. A4 doesn't make any sense. Bishop B5 doesn't. A5 I'm not a fan of. So here he's just lost. Okay, so what move did you suggest here while I was waxing idiotic with Bill Evans?
Knight takes C3.
That's what he did. Attacking the queen. Now Black's 2 pawns up. Okay, now he plays C5. Again, low-rated players are like, oh no, I have double pawns, and they start crying. Double pawns are fine. Okay. All right, so Black's 2 pawns up with the 2 bishops. Okay, now...
They're not always fine.
Well, always. Now he ignores this and plays bishop e6, developing his pieces. Okay, he's like, yeah, take my pawn. What do I care? All right. And he didn't take the pawn, and the engine doesn't even mention it. Doesn't even mention. After this move, shocking Karen a lot, the best move is king d7. Defending the rook. The king moves to safety. It's probably safe on c6. Then we start using the open g file. And the queen's not very good there. Okay, so he played bishop g5 attacking the queen. Lasker saw it. Rook c1. And now, breaking a very important rule, Lasker played
f6.
Mm-hmm. The engine doesn't like f6, by the way. And Lasker's always playing the most aggressive, like, crush Chigorin moves. Takes. Now he has the open g file, which can be very useful. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he uses it. Rook g8. Queen f3, okay, and then long castle. So it looks like Black's king is unsafe because of the pawn structure, the open b file. Which white piece is going to attack Black's king? None of them, that's which one. Okay, queen d3 is the best move, attacking the a pawn. Chigorin played rook fe1. Black played c4. Very explosive, right? Queen e2, attacking the bishop. Bishop f5. Queen a2. Now here, Black played the best move. You're going to find it. And I'll give you a hint. You will know Lasker's name is the Lord when you see this move. That's how you know what the right move is. Lasker has the 2 bishops and 2 extra pawns. What else? You thought Chigorin was good? Well, yeah, Chigorin was, I mean, is the real Lasker of Lasker Thomas Lasker? No. Edward Lasker is the Lasker from Lasker Thomas. Edward Lasker wasn't a bad player. He was top 50 in the world. Maybe top 40, maybe. But he was no Manuel Lasker. God damn. So I'll give you a hint. What would you play if you were playing at the Charlotte Chess Center against a very large man? Then what would you play?
Well, I was looking at rook takes g2.
Right. You notice how White does not have any white square control. This bishop's on a dark square. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, he didn't take the rook, but let's take the rook, right? Okay, then we play the Shirov-like bishop h3 check. Mm-hmm. If the king goes here or here, queen g4 is mate. So probably shouldn't go there, right? King h1 makes the most sense. Queen g4, threatening checkmate, and also queen f3 is going to be checkmate. Mm. And that's it. Just can't. Mate. You can't stop mate. I wouldn't lie to you. You could try to stop mate. You don't believe me. You're like, wait a minute. Here's how I stop mate. Yeah?
No, that's...
Right, you can't stop mate. Okay. So he didn't take the rook. He played king h1, putting it in h. Rook takes f2, attacking the queen, attacking the bishop. The king is getting mated. And this will surprise you, so I'll let you answer. That way you can sound surprised while you answer. Ready? How many pawns is black ahead?
Let's see.
That's correct.
2 pawns. And
What's
two,
that?
4, 6. 4 pawns?
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? So black's 4 pawns up. He's attacking the bishop. He's attacking the queen. And he has a mating attack. So here Chigorin resigned. The engine says black is plus 18. So that was pretty like overpowering, crushing kind of game. That's the difference between a grandmaster you've barely heard of and a world champion who you also barely heard of, but world champion.
I've heard of both of those players.
That's correct. Yeah. Let's see. Korchnoi style. Why didn't white play bishop takes f6? Let's see if that move was ever legal. Okay. There is a bishop on d4. Bishops do go backwards. So is that your question? That would be bad. That's defended. Oh. All right. Next case. Next world champion after Lasker was?
I mean, I'm not going to know. I know that we're coming up on Capablanca.
That's correct.
Oh, it is him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And again, a lot of Capablanca games are famous. So it's hard to find one that's, where he won that's not. But here's a game he won in New York 24 against Savily Tartakower. New York 24 was quite a famous tournament. Lots of good players. Alekhine, Lasker. And surprisingly, Lasker won, even though Capablanca was the world champion. Now, on the internets, it said Capablanca traveled from Havana to New York and was ill. And the first 5 rounds, he had 4 draws and a loss. Did I say the first 4 rounds? If I said the first 4 rounds, I meant the first 5 rounds. I'm not sure what I said. Okay. The next 15 rounds, he had 10 wins and 5 draws. So that sounds like he stopped being sick. Who did Capablanca lose to, losing for the first time in 7 years? I'll let you answer when you're ready.
I'm not going to know, and I'm not even sure if I have the right time period. Maybe Botvinnik.
I'll let you answer when you're ready.
Ready.
Right. Yeah, Richard Ready, yeah. All right. Yeah. Havana Unana is correct. Okay, so Tartakower's white, Capablanca's black, and Tartakower played the King's Gambit, confusing the audience. Now, here Tartakower played a very strange move, which has been played. But it's a very strange move. Bishop e2. Now that's confusing the audience. Okay, not a good move. Okay, d5, attack in the center. King f1, the point of bishop e2. Okay, now this game, and Kangaroo's going to get really angry, is called the Immortal Zwischenzug game. Okay? And there's a million Zwischenzugs coming up. But some of them didn't happen, but they would have happened. But then Tartakower's like, that's enough Zwischens. I'm having enough of this.
Kangaroo probably went to bed.
No, he definitely is here. It's 100% Kangaroo's here. Yeah, see?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, there's no way he's in bed. Okay, now pay attention. Here comes the Zwischenzugs. Okay, well, you're looking at your phone. Okay, so pay attention. Okay, now, in this position, Tartakower thinks he tricked Capablanca. Now I'm going to give you the lowdown. If Queen a4 check, attacking the king and the bishop, right? Black obviously plays knight c6. Okay, so Tartakower played bishop takes knight. Now if you take the bishop, Queen a4 check wins the bishop because black can't play knight c6 anymore.
Right.
So Capablanca blundered a piece. Or so Tartakower thought. What move did Capablanca play that Tartakower missed? By not taking the bishop right away, that would be a Zwischenzug.
Let's see.
Let's see. There's 2 moves suggested in the chat, and they're both illegal. So, I don't know. Good chat.
I don't know. I don't take it. Oh, you could go. No. I don't know.
Okay. So what you'd like to do is play knight e3 check, winning the queen.
Right.
Okay. You'd also like to defend your bishop. That way queen a4 check doesn't win your bishop. So how can you make a knight move where it can go knight e3 check and defend the bishop?
Oh, I see. Knight d5.
Right. That's the only move that wins. In the chat, there's a lot of moves that make no sense, like bishop g4 hanging the other bishop. Then white has to decide whether to take that bishop or play queen a4 check and take the other bishop, or move the bishop on b8 and save his bishop. Bishop g4. What kind of move is that?
I was looking at that in my head.
That move confuses the opponent because he doesn't know whether to take that bishop, the other bishop, or save his bishop because they all win. Bishop g4. Also, knight e4 was suggested, which has nothing to do with the position. That doesn't stop queen a4 check. It doesn't make any threats. What? All right. So knight d5 makes a threat, defends the bishop, and we still have this. Now, the game was boring because Tartakower played king f2, stopping knight e3 check, but then rook takes. Okay. Let me show you the exciting variation. White should have played, and when I say should have played, king f2 is actually the best move. But he should have played it for us. Bishop f4, confusing Karen. Notice how I stopped that. See how I stopped it? And if you take my bishop, which is a mistake, then queen a4 check wins the bishop on e3 again, on b4 again, right? So we can't take that because then we check and take that. So now you play queen f6. Okay, now we're threatening the bishop 6 ways from Sunday. And more importantly, we're threatening this, which wins the queen. Now here's what's funny. After queen c1, or actually I want to play a different defense so I can play my bishop d6 move. I don't know what it is. There is no better defense. Yeah. Well, I guess bishop f3 and knight f. It doesn't matter though. I can just take this. Like you could also play bishop here, which is funny. But here black's already winning. Queen f6 is another submission. Okay, so you play king f2, rook takes. Now black is winning because black is a pawn ahead, which doesn't matter. White can win the pawn back. But okay, you kidding me? What's this? King here, king here? Is Spencer teaching triangulation again? All right. Bishop takes, castles. And obviously black's winning here because the position's completely normal with black having the 2 bishops and white not. And white's king is on f2, which is terrible. And for the most part, white's pieces are here and black's pretty developed. Okay. And the rest of the game wasn't super exciting. It's all right. Okay. I mean, it's a really, really bad position for white. Bishop takes. You can't take with the queen because queen takes d4 check. You have to defend that. So, okay, sacks a piece. If the king takes it, he can check here and win the piece back. So he just goes here. That way that's threatened, and queen g5 is threatened, and that's threatened. You can't play queen takes knight because this wins your queen. So you have to take the bishop. Knight d5. Now the queen goes here, the knight goes here, and the bishop is trapped with g6. You have to save the bishop. Yeah, you can see white's king isn't doing very well. I mean, white's just not resigning here. Okay, then white resigned. He could have resigned earlier. What's funny is, if you remember the games yesterday in the London and the French, this piece, sometimes the pieces never move.
Yeah.
Right. So basically that whole game was white playing bishop takes b8, saying, haha, I'm going to play this check and win the bishop. And Capablanca's like, no, this wins. He's like, oh. Then the rest of the game, his position is ridiculous. Bishop takes b8, it's a terrible move. But, he didn't see knight d5, so, the truth hurts. Yeah. Go Capablanca. And that was very un-Capablanca-like, because as you know, Capablanca was known for boring, positional, brilliant endgame play, slow, methodical. And that game was a lot of tactics.
Good night, kangaroo.
What? You can't go to bed. What about all the German world champions? Oh, wait, that's right.
It's so late.
Never mind. All right. 432 viewers, soon to be 2,400 viewers. Okay, now more world champions. Who was the world champion after Capablanca?
Botvinnik? I don't know.
Close.
I don't know.
Alekhine. Alekhine. Alexander Alekhine. He was known for brilliant attacking play. So we're going to look at a game he played Levenfish. Now this sounds like a joke because it's sort of funny, but it's not a joke. Some guy on the internet, they were talking about this game, and they were like, why did Levenfish play like such a fish? And I was like, what? I mean, I think they didn't even mean to be funny. They just was coincidentally funny. Levenfish was a famous grandmaster. Okay, so they played a Benoni-like type of opening, sort of Benoni, right? Now, Alekhine liked to attack and play aggressive and calculate and so forth, mainly.
And so forth.
Right. So Alekhine plays super aggressive. F4, okay, E5, rawr. Alekhine's already mad, okay? Okay, so he always plays the most aggressive attacking move. So you can see white's, pretty aggressive here. Always attacking something. Okay, so white's position looks pretty good, but the engine says black is fine. But it's very aggressive, so it's very hard to play black because the guy's putting a lot of pressure on you. But the engine says black's position is fine. But, okay, and Levenfish plays correctly. Takes on e6 and plays queen b6. The engine agrees. Okay, and Alekhine sees his pawn is attacked. He sees this pawn is attacked. And this pawn is really annoying on e6, so he defends his pawn with queen e2. Okay, and the engine says black's doing great. Queen takes b2, threatening this and this. And then the engine says, never mind, and now says white's winning. Because the play is so brilliant, it took the engine like 15 seconds to realize that this wasn't good. Now the engine resigns for black. After saying black's better after here, it's like, okay, never mind. So this is just great play by Alekhine. Obviously, if you don't take this pawn, I'll just castle, and black's position is ridiculous. Okay, but that's what black should do. Black should play bishop g7 and then castle, and then these pieces are like trapped the whole game. Okay. Now, Alekhine plays a brilliant move, unbelievable move. Basically, these moves were played in the 1800s, and sometimes they worked. Usually they didn't. Knight b5, giving his rook away with check. He's trying to checkmate the king. So he took both rooks, check, take. So black's up 2 rooks.
Wow.
Okay, check, king here, queen d2, check. Now, it looks like it's mate, but it's not mate, because black has 3 pieces that defend d7, so he just blocked with one of them, and he's like, I'm up 2 rooks. Okay, and then Alekhine took the bishop, not the rook. Now, if it was white's turn, what would white play? If it was white's turn.
Knight e6.
Correct. And black prevented that by resigning. Knight e6 is mate. Right, and the engine already announces mate. The engine's like, give the queen away. Now, it's funny how the queen has no checks that are safe. This king is safe on f2. Yeah. So Alekhine, when he played queen e2, I'm sure he analyzed queen takes b2, knight b5, and noticed that he was winning if the guy took both of the rooks. And basically, if it was 100 years ago or more, everybody just took everything. Then when they got made, they went, oh, well. Nowadays, if the guy sacrifices and the guy's like a world champion, they're like, okay, wait a minute here. Like, should I take all these free pieces or I'm going to get mated? But okay, I mean. Now, if we go back, even if black doesn't take these rooks, the engine just says black's completely lost. I mean, white's going to go here, and that's the end of the world. And, you know, white can castle and defend both his rooks. This wins a rook. The king's getting mated. It doesn't matter what he does here. He's already completely lost.
Mr. Kagaban says, what if he took the knight rather than the rook?
That's right. You could take the knight instead of take. That's right. Then bishop takes. Okay. Now, the engine doesn't play king d8, but if you want to be ahead material, you have to play king d8. If you block with a piece and I take the piece, then you're not ahead anything. But unfortunately, you can't. You're gonna block because I'm gonna play rook d1 check. If you play king d8, then you're gonna block on d7. So the engine says white's +6 because white has a crushing attack and a lead in development, and black doesn't have any material advantage. So this is the engine move: is to go here, takes, and then it just says everything's horrible. It says every legal move is terrible. Knight takes is the best move according to the engine. Now there's a really nice move that white has here. See how the rook is attacked?
Mm-hmm.
Bishop e5 defending the rook and forking the queen and the rook. And you can't take the bishop because your knight's pinned. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to play queen b4 check. And now the best move is castles. Yeah, harsh. And you just lose your rook, and white's up a rook for nothing. Yeah, so the position was, I mean, it was an excellent attacking game from Alekhine, who just played super aggressive from the outset, and Levin Fish couldn't defend. And then the people on the internet are like, what a fish. You're getting crushed by Alekhine.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. Yeah. Levin Fish's dragon is also terrible. Yeah. And then when the guy played Alekhine, he also said, I did not see that coming. That's what the guy in the chat said. Did not see that coming. So he playing Alekhine did not see that coming.
All right.
Many people thought Alekhine was in cahoots with the Nazis.
Oh.
Although probably the Nazis killed him, but it's not clear.
I didn't know that.
Probably both are true. Yeah. Some people think Alekhine was murdered, and some people think he choked to death on meat. Right? What does the gawking rabble on the internet say? Yeah.
Kangaroo says, I stayed up for that.
Anybody? This guy says he was murdered. Yeah.
Just like
And this guy says he died by choking on meat. Yeah. Choking on vegan meat. Meat is murder. Man, turkey sandwich. Inconclusive. We get all the answers. One said he choked, one said he's murdered, one said inconclusive.
Meat is Murder, that's the name of an album, isn't it?
Mm.
It's the name of a record. Meat is Murder.
He died of natural causes. All
Basil
right.
Pond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
Choked
right.
while drunk. That seems... If you're drunk and you die as a result, is that natural causes? Is it? I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you check knight e4 check in the last move? I can. Okay. So this was the end of the game. And this guy wants to play knight e4 check, forking the king and queen. Right? That way you don't get mated because I can take it, then you don't get, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what your next move is, sir. What do you want to do now? I'm still playing knight e6, mate. That was the end of that variation. They're like, he didn't get mated because I checked him. Yeah, but after I take, then, you know, now what?
Oh, we have a poll.
Yeah, how did Alex... Yeah, there's an argument on the internet. Inconclusive. Fries. I think he died eating fries. Queen takes e4? Whoa. I'm not a big fan of black's position here, since the engine announces mate. Now we're threatening mate, and we're up a queen. Man, it's harsh. This position's not good for black. Whenever I look at these games where a world champion is checkmating somebody, for some reason their opponent likes to be on the back rank. Yeah. Now the engine says resigns was the best move. Yeah. Is heart attack natural cause? That's like the most natural cause, right?
I would think.
That's what's more natural than that?
Stroke.
Yeah. Choked on fries. What? Cancer's not so good either. But they're all natural causes. Like somebody killed him. 1999 from Puzzle Pawn wants more fries.
Yay, Puzzle
Death by
Pawn.
Papa John's is the 5th leading cause of death in the U.S. Hard to understand. Okay, so that was a good Alekhine game from St. Petersburg, 1912. Now, Alekhine lost the world championship, and then he won it back. Mm-hmm. Who did he lose it to? And the guy was Dutch. That's the hint.
Well, I don't know the nationalities of.
Well, now you know it wasn't Botvinnik.
I don't know where Botvinnik's from.
Not Dutch. He's Russian. He's from the Soviet School of Chess.
Dutch. That's going to be tough.
Max Euwe, your favorite world champion.
Yeah, I wasn't going to get that.
Right. So he beat Alekhine, and then Alekhine beat him in the rematch, and then Alekhine died, and there was no world champion.
Oh,
Then there was a world championship tournament, which Botvinnik won.
okay.
Right. What about E6?
Yeah, you think?
E6 seems like a good defensive move. The engine announces mate. And not only does it announce mate, it announces mate with more than one move. So this is the quickest mate. Only one legal move. Only one legal move. Everything is mate, but this is the quickest. That's check. And then if you play king g7, queen e7's mate. So you go here. And queen e7's mate. That king's attacked by a lot of guys. Damn. Mm-hmm. Even the bishop on f4 is stopping, still. Yeah. The answer was fries. Yeah, tough pull. Was he drunk when he lost to Euwe? I mean, probably. See, here's the thing. If Alekhine is drunk 85% of the time, I'm not saying he is, but if he is, and he's who he is, when he wins tournaments, you're like, yay. And when he does badly, you're like, well, he was drunk. I mean, if he's always drunk, that's not an excuse. So this is the same thing with Ginger GM. When Ginger GM plays badly, his friends and backers say, well, he was drinking too much beer. I mean, if Ginger GM is always drinking beer when he plays chess, and then he loses while he was drinking beer, and when he wins, he was still drinking beer, but he won. I mean, that's not. I mean, that's Alekhine drunk alcohol. That's what he did. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Chess TV people.
People. Oh yeah, we got Chess TV because we have 1,000 people watching.
I like that Donald Trump is a recommended channel for you.
Yeah, that's right. 5 cents to deuce. Thank you. Have I played Alekhine rating? I have. I played the opening, not the person. That's correct. Okay. Now, Max Euwe, his first name was actually Maxilgis. So they called him Max. Like Maxielgis. Something like that. Mm. But they're like, all right. Now, when he was angry, what did they call him?
I don't know.
Mad Max.
Oh.
All right. I just made the joke up as I was saying it, so it wasn't too good. Okay. As Alekhine would say, that joke was not so good. All right. This game was played in Hastings in 1934 against the aforementioned Sir George Thomas, who lost the famous game against Edward Lasker. Okay. This game has a great move at the end. The very end, you'll be like, wow. You'll like fall out of your chair.
Something's going on.
Drew gifted 5 subs.
And you missed,
thanks, Drew.
I think you missed somebody before that, too.
Nope.
Yeah, there was a sub.
Nope. No, missed nothing. Thanks, Drew. You're the best.
Thank you, Drew.
Let's see. Dun-dun-dun. Gifted subs, 5 bits. Nope. I missed nothing.
Gilmore the Great.
Oh, resubscribe Go Ben with a lot of ease.
See?
That is correct. Thanks, Gilmore the Great. I remember Gilmore the Great saying 6 months, but I didn't see the sub. I wonder if it was within the 6 months. Here, look, I saw that. But I didn't see him sub. I just saw that.
I saw it, but you were talking.
And I saw he said 6 months, and I was like, good for you. I still don't see it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Man, that was way back there. Good job, Gilmore. Yeah. Twitch is weird. No, you did good. No, 1999 donation, we did that already. No, I already mentioned that. I can't mention stuff, then you tell me I didn't mention it. I already mentioned it. Okay.
Well, I did that.
That was Puzzle Pawn 1999.
Thank you, Honky Blood. He's just looking out for you.
No, you just, when did I become a VIP?
Honky Blood.
You donate a lot. Mention it more. Go Puzzle Pawn. Okay.
When
Puzzle Pawn buys breakfast, that costs more than $19.99.
I went through and I made a whole bunch of people VIPs by going and because we've never done that. I still need to make all the sub givers VIPs. Okay,
McJurgle said I mentioned the bisque. Give the reference.
I don't know.
Okay, so it's the yada 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 episode of Seinfeld, and then she says, "We had dinner. I had the bisque. We went back to my place. Yada yada yada. He never called again." And Seinfeld said, "You yada 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 over the best part," and she said, "I mentioned the bisque." That's
I
the
vaguely
joke.
remember.
Pinky Jim gifted a sub. Sorry if I wasn't clear enough on that episode. No, I just grabbed the wrong episode.
Pinky Jim.
Yeah. You're the VIP-istness. Hi, Chess TV people. We're doing a cornucopia of World Championship games in chronological order. This game was played in 1934 in Hastings. Okay, Irva's white, and Thomas is from England, so that's good. They played a QGD. This is actually how I would play with white. I mean, like, Rook C1 is the most common move, and I have played that. But normally I play Queen C2 here. But Rook C1 is even more common. Featured prominently in many games between Karpov and Kasparov, where Kasparov was white in the 80s. Okay, and this is still the main line. This is like the main. This is...
I forgot what year you said.
1934 Hastings. Okay, now in this position, I think H3 is the main move. It may be Rook E1, but he took everything. Okay, and white has a very interesting idea here, which is, I don't know if Irva knew the idea or he figured it out. He wants to push his pawn up here and then attack the black king. And he ended up being very successful. He played F4, the queen has to move away. And he played F5, and he wants to play F6. Obviously, black's not playing F6, never play F6, and it's illegal. But if I play F6, that's annoying, because, I'm checkmating your king.
Yay,
$9.99 for Drew, thank you. Okay, the engine wants to play queen F6 and stop all that. But he attacked the bishop, and then he attacked the rook, and the guy's like, all right, beat F6. Now, Thomas's idea was he wants to take this pawn. The rook is defending the pawn, so when the rook moves, he'll take the pawn. If the rook moves this way, bishop d3 is a nice, pin, skewer, fork, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so he threw F6 in. Takes, check, here. So black's up a pawn, but, black's king is pretty suspicious, and black's pieces are all in the back rank. The F6 pawn is quite weak. The engine prefers white. Okay, now accuracy wasn't, what these guys were known for in the 30s. Bishop E6 is the engine move. White's better. He played bishop B7, playing for counterattack. And then he played queen E4, threatening mate. Okay. Rook, queen D2, defending the mate and coming in with the attack. King H8, not a good move. Bishop takes F7. Rook C8, he wants to play Rook C2. Black wants to mate white too. But, okay. He played Rook F2, defending everything. And also, this diagonal's open with the white rook net here. So if somehow white could get his queen to the diagonal, that would be good. He can't, but if he could. Okay. Now, black blundered. Black's last hope is queen G4, and white still has a big advantage according to the engine. But instead he played Rook D8, which is a blunder, and white played the only winning move. Okay, recommended by Radiohead, and then that woman you like. What's her name? Charlotte Church? Or who sang Creep? Who's the woman you like?
It wasn't Charlotte Church.
Who is it?
I can't even remember that gal's name. She's not known.
She's the one who went to jail or got arrested? Or that's a different one?
No, that's a different one.
Damn.
She was an American Idol winner, so she's
All
not
right.
even really known.
So this move's like a creeping move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see how the queen's attacked, right? So he played queen g5. Now remember, I was advocating for white putting the queen on this diagonal. Mm-hmm. So queen f6 mate is a big threat, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Also, white's a pawn ahead, but attacking the king is the important part. Okay, this is the best part. This is really good. Okay, it doesn't matter what black plays. Black is completely lost. But luckily, he played the move he played, so we can get all excited now. He played rook d6, which obviously stops queen f6 mate. Mm-hmm. Okay, if he stops queen f6 mate another way, which is queen d4, white has the same winning move, which is amazing. Okay, but this is great. Okay, white has more than one move that wins here, but this is an amazing move, and then black resigned. So what did white play? White has several moves that win, but this is easily the most, the most whatever. Something. Also, it's the quickest mate. It's the only move where the engine actually announces mate. The other ones are plus 40 and plus 10. Horrible. So whose turn is it?
Oh, just white.
Correct.
I'm trying to look. Let's see.
Hi, Chess TV people. You're the best. If you're just joining us, we're looking at one game from every world champion. So far we've done Steinitz, Lasker, Capablanca, Alekhine, and now we're on Euwe. And next, obviously, will be Botvinnik. Then we're going to do Grover Cleveland. Then we'll do Grover Cleveland again. Oh, that's Botvinnik. Never mind. Yeah, Kazimzhanov, Ponomaryov, and Halifman, we're not doing them. I forgot about Kazimzhanov. Jesus.
I'm not sure. Let's see. The people in the chat get it already?
Mm-hmm. Some people did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One guy gave a move 5x clams, but it's a really bad move. It's like one of the worst moves. So I think 5 question marks is more apropos.
I don't know. What if you went like bishop d5 or something?
Correct.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the bishop moves win. Bishop here,
Yeah.
bishop here, bishop here, and bishop here.
Mm-hmm.
But bishop c4, for example, the engine says is plus 71. Okay. But yeah, bishop d5 is what he played. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to have the bishop hanging to more pieces, but he couldn't. And Thomas resigned. Man, Thomas was good at getting it. When he played Lasker, he walked his king down the board. Here he's getting crushed. Okay, so I'm threatening rook takes rook mate. That's a pretty good threat.
Mm-hmm.
If you play rook takes rook, I play queen g8 mate.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I'm threatening this, but that doesn't matter. It's only a queen, right? Yeah. So the best move, there's 3 moves that are mate in 5. Rook f7, rook f6, and queen takes g2 check. Those are all mate in 5 for white. But okay, those are all silly moves. So he resigned. Yeah, bishop d5 was good. He showed Thomas. Thomas was the Washington Generals. That's right. There's a Simpsons episode where Krusty owes the mafia a lot of money because he has a lot of gambling debts. And one of the guys, I don't remember who it was, it might have been Bart. It's like, why'd you bet on the Washington Generals? They're the team that always loses to the Globetrotters, like on purpose. And he said they lost 450 games in a row. They were due. Something like that. Yeah. All right, go Washington Generals. Yeah, it's funny. The Washington Generals played the Lions and beat them, and they beat the Falcons. It was weird.
Mepex was so happy he knew the quote.
I thought they were due. That's right. Yeah, he's right. Yeah. Are we doing Botvinnik 3 times? Let's see. How many jokes can I make about that? No, we're only doing people 1 game per person. Yeah.
Hey, Chess with Ovi.
Yeah, it's Ovi. Yeah. They were due. The best bet on those cartoons was on Family Guy when Mike Tyson fought some like elderly white small actress. What's her name? They'll know in the chat. I want to get before the chat tells me.
Elderly white.
She's a white actress. She's elderly. You've heard of her, but she's not memorable. Damn it, I can't think of her name. Oh, wow, they're going to tell me. No, not Betty White.
It can't be Betty because she is memorable.
It's not Betty White. Carol Channing.
Yeah, I know her.
Okay, so Carol Channing fights Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And so Brian's like, okay, I'll bet $50 on Mike Tyson with Stewie. And Carol Channing, so he's beating Carol Channing like to death. And she says, is that all you have, young man? You know, and then he keeps hitting her and she's like on the ground dying. Anyway, eventually she wins, right? So now Brian owes Stewie $50 the whole episode and he's not paying him. And Stewie's like beating him up and shooting him with fire and shooting him and hitting him over the head and putting his head in the toilet. And eventually Lisa's like, okay, let's go to the bank. Yeah, Carol Channing. That was a good fight, Carol, young man. Yeah. You're going down, young man. Yeah. Yeah, he got tired and he's getting exhausted fighting Carol Channing. She was too tough. Brian was pretty happy about his bet. Bet $50 on Tyson. He's pretty confident. Okay, now the next world champion is Botvinnik. And I tried to find a Botvinnik game I didn't know, and it actually wasn't very difficult. Hopefully, Dave Vest isn't watching the stream furious, not knowing Botvinnik's name. By the way, do you like Rouser's first name?
I can't see that very well.
Vsevolod. I wonder if that's actually his first name or it's a typo. Okay, 1,500 viewers. Okay, so they played a Sicilian. Now, here's what's funny about this. I think it's funny. Maybe the chat agrees. If White plays this move, you ready for this? Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
That's the Rouser variation, named after Rouser.
Okay.
And he didn't do it. Okay, he played Bishop E2. Now, when I have black in this position, I play the Boleslavsky variation, which is E5. Okay? And Botvinnik transposed into a dragon because White's played the passive Bishop E2 move, so he played G6. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm not, this exact position right here, I think I had black in this position in the 1994 U.S. Championship against Alexander Shabalov. And neither one of us ever made any moves. We didn't know the theory very well, so we were thinking 10 minutes a move and making a move. And I moved 15, we had no time left and agreed to a draw. I think it was this position. Against Shabalov, I think I played Queen C8, Rook D8. I think so. Okay, so Botvinnik played Knight A5, and they traded the knights. Bishop F3, Bishop C4 attacking the rook, Rook F D8, Queen back to C7. Okay, now Botvinnik played the super aggressive E5, forcing a reckoning. And Rouser's like, I don't want to deal with that, and played B3. Okay, then you will know Botvinnik's name is the Lord when you see this move. Here's a move you would never consider with black. You would be like, my bishop's attacked. Should I play bishop A6 or bishop E6? And either one of those moves is okay. But Botvinnik played a different move. I'm not saying the move is good. It's just that the move is so shocking Okay, it was arousing. It was a rouser. Yeah. Now, I'll give you a hint. It's the move you want to play in the Sicilian, especially after you play e5. But in general, anyway. And this is why it's good when your rook is lined up against a queen. That's always a good idea. So what did black play? The most aggressive move ever. Totally ignoring his bishop.
I don't know, d5.
Correct.
Yeah.
Also, e takes f4 is an engine move. But d5 is okay. Now you can see if it was black's turn to move and he takes this pawn, he's attacking the queen and the bishop. And when you play d5 in the Sicilian, you're always worried your opponent will play e5. So if you play e5 first, then you can play d5 and, yeah. Okay, the engine is confused now, so it offers a draw. Very strange engine. Okay, Rouser played the engine move. E takes d5. Botvinnik continued. e4, opening up his bishop. Nice, threatening this. Okay, now the engine says pawn takes and knight takes are equally good. He played pawn takes. He took this. And then c5. That's a pretty good pawn duo. Like they're defended a lot. Okay, good. Okay. And Botvinnik played the engine recommended queen a5. Trying to take advantage of, where the knight, this. And a lot of times in the Sicilian, as I've pointed out on various streams, including in the last few days, black wants to play knight g4 in the Sicilian, which is really good here. Because we got f2 and knight takes e3 and bishop takes c3 and queen takes c3. Okay, and that's what happened. He played rook ed1, which the engine doesn't like very much. Knight g4, which the engine does like. And bishop d4 is the losing move. The only way for white to continue is knight e4, and the engine says black is better. We play bishop d4, thwarting this bishop. Or so he thought. f2 check. That pawn, by the way, was on d6 a few moves ago.
Yeah.
Okay, then he, that pawn goes. You can't take with the bishop because then your knight's, you get it? You see what I'm saying here?
Mm-hmm.
And then queen takes is also bad. So you have to play king f1, which is what he played. Queen a6 check, the only winning move. You have to block the check. Queen e2. Bishop takes d4. Now, if you play knight e3 check, the bishop can take it. So that doesn't make any sense. But if white recaptures with the rook, he did recapture with the rook. Okay. If he plays queen takes a6, which people on the internet recommended because they saw the game and they were like, get rid of the queens. Okay, then you take with check. You have to play king e2 because it's legal. Then you make a queen. You have to take. And then you take this. Now, the reason you make a queen is funny. The reason you do this, white's threatening rook takes bishop. So by queening, the rook has to move away from the bishop. Then you take the queen, and black's up a piece. This is hanging, and black's up a piece. Completely winning for black. But f1 queen is an important decoy, so the rook doesn't take the bishop. It has to take that. So f2 is an important move. f1 is important. Okay, so he played rook takes d4. Now the queens are on the board, which is what black wants, because you can see. So he plays queen f6, and he switches up what he was doing, black-eyed pea styles. Switch up, right? So he's threatening the rook, and his queen wants to come over here. Got to save the rook. Queen comes over here. Now knight h2 is mate because I said so. Also, queen h2 is not bad. Okay, and the engine says white's completely lost because white's king is no good. Knight h2, queen h2, rook e8, right? Mr. Popezilla agrees and subscribes.
Yay.
Queen d3, he plays rook e8. Now, if you play knight h2 check, which does win, then the king goes to e2. So he plays rook e8 and says, no, your king's not going to e2. Now he's threatening mate, and he's threatening rook e1 check, which also leads to mate. Rook e4, f5. It doesn't matter what black does here. Everything wins. C'est pas différence. All right. And then he resigned because I've never been so mad. And what's funny about this game is Botvinnik's greatest games and the games that he's known for and his style was to strategically outplay you, and then, he wins because your position's lost. And here was like all tactics. But E5, D5 is a very important strategical maneuver which worked tactically. So he actually won because his strategy was correct, E5 and D5, and he broke through in the center and the king side. And now the engine says black is +9. I'm very surprised Rouser didn't play the Rouser. He played bishop E2. And we got into a dragon. And it was a boring dragon until it wasn't. Then Botvinnik played E5, D5, and he got his D6 pawn all the way to F2, which is very unusual. Yeah. Does Ding play like Botvinnik? No. Yeah, Botvinnik played Sicilian. Botvinnik was mean. Now, on the internet, man, this sounds like a joke, and it's not. On the internet about 3 days ago, they posted a video on Twitter. I don't know who it was. And it was Botvinnik raking leaves in front of his house. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, you mentioned
I thought Botvinnik was just the world champion. I didn't think he raked leaves. I mean, he died years ago, but when he was alive, he was raking leaves. So, yeah. That is a good video. I like that video. You know what he said when the press came to ask him about his raking the leaves? Leave me alone. All right. Man, I told that joke 3 times. 3 times.
I'm getting tired, and not because this is boring.
It is boring,
Like
but that's not why.
People like to say that I look bored. I'm not bored.
Are you bored?
I got up really early.
You got to get up pretty early in the morning to teach Karen chess.
I wish they delivered coffee from Starbucks.
They do.
Drinks.
Starbucks is incredibly closed.
I know.
That you can get coffee delivered from Starbucks. You can.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Starbucks doesn't do it. Some
kinda
other place does, like
ridiculous.
DoorDash. Yeah.
And I'm fine. I just may have to get up and get some water in a minute.
Need some trains? That would help. Okay, tall time Smyslov first. I thought it was Smyslov. That's what I thought. Okay, so here's Smyslov versus Doofus. His name is Doofus. Strange name. All right. Gerasimov, Smyslov.
Aramid wants to kiss you.
Who does? Aramid Hadju. I would like to kiss you. Well, I'd like $1 billion, but some things aren't going to happen. Yeah. So if I remember correctly, and I don't, Smyslov won in 1957, and Tal won in either 60 or 61. Also, I could have all of that wrong. That's my recollection. Was that right? I don't know if that's right. Some of it's right, maybe. I mean, I wasn't going to be born for a long time, so I don't know what happened before I was born. Stuff happened, I guess. Okay, so Smyslov is black. And this is I've shown this game already on the stream, but I wanted to show it again. This is reminiscent of not only Aroni and Anand from Tata Steel, but obviously Rottweiler Rubinstein, which was, previous to that. This is pretty similar. Yeah. Tall won in 60, and then 57 for Smyslov, right? And if I remember correctly, and I don't, I think Smyslov lost and drew. And I know Bronstein drew a match, but I think Smyslov drew a match too. But maybe I made that up. So, yeah. Smyslov was the next world champion after Botvinnik. That's crazy. Not too crazy. I mean, Botvinnik became world champion in 48, and then Smyslov won in like 57. It seems reasonable. Although I might have made that up, but sounds good. Okay, so Smyslov's black, and they got like very symmetrical position. Okay, and as you all remember, not only was Smyslov attending my first wedding, I also have a plus score against Smyslov. We played a rated game, which was a draw, and I beat him in a simul. Although, I think when I played Smyslov the rated game, he didn't know that I beat him in a simul. And I think when he was at my wedding, he didn't know he ever played me before. That's pretty sure all that's true. I think Smyslov's like, I don't know, there's some guy having a wedding. I don't know. Yeah, I've played him twice, but I have no idea who he is. Yeah. I mean, I played him in 84 when I was 14. And then I played him in 88. And then my wedding was in 89. I don't think he knows that I'm the same guy. I think it's just, things happen, Smyslov's an older guy, Okay. Smyslov's like, whatever, I gotta do something. Okay. Smyslov was crushing me in the simul in Moscow. And then he sacked the exchange for nothing. And he went wham when he did it. And it was horrible and I was winning. If he didn't sack the exchange, he was just outplaying me. The game was terrible. Okay, so this game is very symmetrical and similitude. See how it's symmetrical? You thought I was lying, but I'm not lying too much. Even when it's not symmetrical, it transposes into being symmetrical, right? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? That's pretty... Okay. So now the symmetry ended, and he played rook e1. Okay. Now... I'm going to tell you a surprise at the end of the game, which I didn't know before today. Before today, I thought, yes, Smyslov won. He's playing doofus. But there's more. It's not sold in any store. How did you invite him to your wedding? I did not. I got married in a chess tournament, Hastings, and the players from Hastings were there, so they just walked over. Smyslov, Short, etc. Mainly, etc. Then I got married in another chess tournament, the National Open in Vegas, which also had some chess players, but not as many. Then when we got married in St. Louis, there were some chess players there, right?
Yeah, but we weren't at a tournament.
Right, but there was some of the St. Louis Chess Club people went. I have a funny joke about that. At all of my weddings, a grandmaster was in attendance. Now, at the first wedding, more than one grandmaster. At the second wedding in Vegas, who was the only grandmaster in attendance? And he actually showed up after we started. He knocked on the door and let him in. Maurice Ashley. Oh, okay. And he had coins. He had a thing full of coins. He had to put it down and come in. Oh, okay. And then at the third wedding, who was the only grandmaster at our wedding?
You've asked me this many
times. Right, the answer's funny.
You.
Right, me. Yeah, I was the only. I wasn't a grandmaster at the first two weddings. Yeah, Karen's like, when you're a grandmaster, give me a call. Okay, so now Botvinnik and Smyslov, I call him Botvinnik a lot. Smyslov played bishop f4. Now there's no rook c1. Okay, so bishop f4 is okay. Knight e5, that's a bad move. Takes. Okay, now the typical chess player would say, well, my knight's attacked. I guess I'll move my knight away. And by the way, that's a fine move. Mm-hmm. Smyslov played queen c6, threatening checkmate. Also good. Now here, I have to disagree with the engine, even though the engine's right and I'm wrong. I have to disagree with the engine. Mm-hmm. I don't want to disagree with it. I have to. White played the losing move, bishop f1, stopping mate. The engine says the only good move is f3, stopping mate. Mm-hmm. Terrible. You can see why his opponent played bishop f1, because always play bishop f1. Okay, so you see how his knight's attacked? Mm-hmm. And he didn't move his knight. So that's the Swishenzik. Right. Then he didn't move his knight again. Rook d8. Queen went to b3. The engine says queen f3 is best. Oh, horrible. Okay, knight g4. Man, when some of these GMs, they attack with a lot of pieces, right? Okay. h3, putting it in h. Okay, and this is the move that reminds me of the Rottwelli Rubinstein and the Aronian Anand game. Okay, this is the move Karen would play, except for one thing. You know those games? Did you memorize them?
No.
Okay, so this move is a decoy and removing the defender and overworked. It's 3 tactics in one. That's your favorite kind of tactic, right?
Sure.
Yeah, this move is a great move, unbelievable move, right? In the chat, they're just getting their engines ready. The engine tells them the move, then they put it in the chat. They're really proud of themselves. All right, let's see. 1,776 viewers. That's the spirit. Laszlo Damas, Karen great, Ben great, both great. The more you donate, the greater we are. Karen is my internet mom. Karen is a very sweet lady.
That's right. Now who?
Who was the only grandmaster at our wedding? Karen, I don't know. Now she knew. I now pronounce you king and queen. Look, I'm telling you, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. The guy who married us, he's Sid Haig. Sid Haig is dead, but he's still Sid Haig. Did Sid Haig die before or after our wedding? Hey Siri, when did Sid Haig die?
Yay, thank you, Grunchwort.
Just a sec. Sid Haig died September 21st, 2019 at age 80 in Los Angeles.
That was Sid Haig, because he died in 2019.
Oh,
So that Sid Haig was the guy who married us. Yeah. You remember what the guy looked like who married us? If you don't, I'll just show you a picture of Sid Haig.
Thank you, Dougie. Fresh.
How could a guy look so much like Sid Haig? How is it possible? I don't understand it. That's the guy who married us. Yay.
Yeah, he said he showed this game before.
6'4". Man, House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, those were such good movies. Jackie Brown.
Wait, let's keep going with the chess.
Man, Sid Haig was great. Known professionally as Sid Haig. Yeah. You know what school he went to? Old school. Now look at this occupation. Certified hypnotherapist. Very suspicious.
Oh, he has more than one thing he did.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he's the greatest. He got a disease. I can't pronounce any of the names. Yeah. Well, let's see. All right, what's going on here?
I don't know. I forgot what we're doing.
Adamas, Spencer. How did you guys meet? Bishop H2. See, Audensis Fortuna Juvat, you got the moves right, but in the wrong order. But you got the right moves. Yeah, Salty Chess is not as salty as I thought he was.
Thank you, user. What are they talking about?
The moves. Yeah.
I look like your mom, Polo? Well, thank you, I think.
Are you ready for this move?
Yeah.
You're sitting down?
Sure.
Smyslov played... I have a surprise at the end of this game, which is a really good surprise. Smyslov played Rook D3, and you will know his name is the... If you take with the bishop, Queen G2's mate, you agree. Mm-hmm. If you take with the queen, then I do this check, and hey, I won your queen. Amazing. Oh, yeah. And then you can't take my knight because it's still mate. And he still, you kidding me? Mm-hmm. And then this knight's hanging. God damn. Okay. So Rook D3 is great. He has to move his queen's hanging, right? You agree? Mm-hmm. And then he does it again. If you like Rook D3, you're going to like the next move.
Okay.
I don't know if you like Rook D3. Rook takes H3. God damn. So now, if you take the queen, remember I said if? Mm-hmm. Now the queen's not defending F2. You see how it was? Mm-hmm. Then check and mate. Jesus Christ. All right. If you take the rook, obviously this is mate. So you can't take the rook and you can't take the queen. The truth hurts. Okay, so the guy played bishop D4, defending his queen and defending F2. Pretty good defense. Now he does a windmill. Right? Mm-hmm. Bishop H2. Got to play here, right? Bishop E5 check. You can't take the rook, it's illegal. Now he resigned. Let me show you why he resigned. You're going to like it. Mm-hmm. If he goes here, we do it again. Notice there's no pawn here. Remember the pawn was there and he took it? Mm-hmm. So we go check and attack the queen. God damn. Mm-hmm. Okay. So after bishop takes E5 check, white resigned. Man, Smyslov, Rook D3, Rook H3, rawr. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then plus you see the evaluation.
Yeah, that is an exciting game.
All right. Now, you ready for the surprise?
Yeah.
This was in a junior tournament in the Soviet Union. Smyslov won 11-0. God damn. And he was 14 years old. I didn't know he was 14 years old when he played this game. There's a book, Smyslov's Greatest Games, 1935 to 1957. This is the first book in the game. And he was interviewed, and they said, yo, Smyslov, what's your favorite memory from chess? And he said this tournament.
Oh, really?
Because I went 11-0 against all the best juniors in the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Man, he played that game.
It
God.
was a spoonerism.
Man, he was 14. Man. Now, for $1 trillion,
Yeah.
what was Smyslov's nickname?
I wouldn't know.
The Hand.
Oh,
Like, he put his hand out, make the right move. He was the Hand.
okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Also,
cool.
when there was a baby involved, he'd rock the cradle. Yeah. The Hand versus the Claw. Who was the Claw?
Tao?
That's right. The Hand versus the Claw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty good for 14. He took that guy to school, literally, because they were 14. So he really did take him to school. Yay, Tall. 2,000 viewers. Why aren't people in the chat saying, why do you have 2,000 viewers? I don't understand. That's what you should be saying.
They know.
Yeah.
They know about
We
chess
talk about
TV.
forks and chess, then when we're done with chess, then Karen and I talk about spooning. All right, time for another train.
Yeah, that was a good game.
I've shown that game before, but I didn't know Smyslov was 14. When I was 14, I was, not playing too well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, McJurgle.
Yay.
Yeah.
Hey, McJurgle. I don't think I've said hey to you tonight.
Maybe. Okay, next world champion was Tall, and he was playing Polish in the Soviet Championship in 1958. 500 centidues. Thanks, Laszlo Damas.
Yay.
100 centidues. Thanks, Meepex.
Hey, Laszlo.
The
miss
next
you,
one gives us a
Laszlo.
train.
Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Okay. This is Tall
day.
Polish. Yeah. I tried to find a Tall game nobody knew. And this was the game. Yeah. Okay. So Tall's white and a Nimzo Indian, right? Okay. You've seen Nimzo Indian before. Normal, boring Nimzo Indian. Okay. Now, things happen I've never seen. Now, I've seen Bishop takes C3. I've seen D takes C4. I've seen E takes D4, but I've never seen this move. And I think people don't play E takes D4, and this move is one of the reasons. But the engine actually says everything is good for white. But this is a move like, if somebody played it, I would be like, what? If Tall played, I'd be like, yeah, all right. But I mean, if anybody else played this, I'd be like, whoa. Here's a move Karen would not play. Karen's going to be mad when she sees this move. Are you already mad? Okay. So you take the pawn or you take the bishop, right? Mm-hmm. You take the bishop, then black takes the knight, which is fine. And Tall played knight takes d5, confusing the audience. Making sure all the pieces are hanging for some reason. Not sure why he did that. 300 centidues from Xanth. Thanks for starting the train.
Yay.
2,100 viewers.
Yay, Xanth.
Okay, so the game got boring again. Takes. All right. So material's equal, but Tall has the two bishops, right? And this bishop isn't very good. So he played knight b6 attacking the bishop, and now the bishop can be very good. Okay, and Tall's like, that's my bishop. And they traded pawns. Okay, so white has the two pawns. If I had the black pieces and I knew who Tall was, I would trade queens. Because, Tall kick your ass. Can't be keeping the queens on. But Polish played knight d5. Tall saved his bishop. And now the queens are still on the board. That's not good. Because the queens are on the board. Tall kick your ass. Okay, traded rooks. b6. Pretty boring. Rook d1. You always want to line that rook up with the queen. Polish is like, all right, let's trade queens. Fine. And Tall in his best German accent said, Ish, don't think so. Bishop e5. Not trading queens. Unleashing the latent potential of the rook. Queen b5. Now the queen defends the knight. The bishop defends the knight. The knight defends the knight. And this pawn is rather weak. But I got the two bishops. Okay, and Tall played bishop takes f6. And it's taking either way is bad. The engine prefers taking with the knight, which he didn't do. And then queen e7. Threatening this, right? So he didn't like that, but this is what he should do. Now he could play bishop to d5, and the engine line is takes, knight takes. The queen can go to b7 or e4. They're about the same. And white has a little advantage. White's not winning. That's what Tola should have done. But he took with the g pawn, okay, which is a mistake. Okay, that's a very bad move, taking this way, messing his king up. Queen e4, defending the pawn, attacking the knight, and Papa John's. Okay, now white's winning. Okay, queen takes b4. This is what Tolush had in mind. Now I'm going to ask you a question. What's the winning move for white here? It's not like a crazy tactic. It's the only move that wins. Probably Tolush didn't see it. He probably thought, I'm up a pawn. I'm threatening the queen on e4. I'm threatening the bishop on b3. What's the problem? And then he probably didn't see this next move, which maintains all of white's advantages of, this dangerous here. This is dangerous. This is pretty good. The king is open. And, you got two pieces attacked. So probably Tolush misevaluated the next move for white. 2,000 viewers is nice. The train's not doing very well. Come on, viewers. Make that train go. What?
Maybe bishop c2?
Bishop c2, I trade queens. Queen takes queen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although, actually, you have a pretty big pin there. Thanks, Pawn Lift. After we trade, I think I have knight c3 or knight e3. I think I do. No, it says it's bad. I have to play rook d8, then it's equal.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you save your queen, save your bishop, and don't trade queens? Also, you later can play my favorite move. So that's good. Okay, Pawn Lift gifted 4 subs. Thanks, Pawn Lift. And Drew gifted 5 subs. Also, thank you.
Queen d3.
Queen d3, that does everything I said, but too passive. But it does save everything.
Yeah.
Right. And it says it's equal. It says like knight e7. Okay. Yeah. See, I think Tolush didn't see this move. He thought, rawr, take a pawn trade.
Go bishop c4.
Bishop c, you go bishop c4. So you're finding the moves. But then the engine says b5 is equal.
Oh, yeah.
So he played knight d4. Stopping this, defending this, and then knight f5 later. Okay. That's the only move that's like +4, +5. Okay. Very strong move. f5, attacking the queen. You can't take with the knight because queen takes the queen. And if you take with the queen, that's actually not a bad move. White's still barely winning, but not winning like he was. He played queen e5, which is better. Defending the knight, attacking this knight, keeping the king at bay. Knight e7. Queen f6 is the best move. Bishop to d5. This is the move of the game. This move coming up. In this position, the engine says all moves win for white. Just regular, normal moves. This move only Tal would play. Now, if you suggest the move, you are using an engine. I'll never believe you're not using an engine. Never. You'll never convince me you're not using an engine if you find the move Tal played. Tal, conversely, was not using an engine because this game was played in 19 Dickety. This game was played in 58. This game is virtually unknown. Nobody in the chat's ever seen this game, so they can't find the right move here. I hate when you guys find the right move. I hate you guys. You guys are the worst. But thanks for the train. Man, 3 people out of like 15 found the right move. If you don't find the right move, the move that you did suggest is also good because it's unclear if Tal's move is better than the other move. But this engine says it's a little better, but they're both completely winning. But this move is much more spectacular. According to Wes Berger, that's important. Now I'll tell you a funny bridge story that didn't happen while Karen's thinking about the move. You ready?
You said, I'm probably not going to find it.
That's okay. Now here's the bridge story. When you have 10 cards in a suit, So your opponents have 3, because 13. And you're missing the king, and you have 2 ways of playing the hand. Play the ace and hope that somebody only has the king and is forced to play it. Or finesse the king, hoping the person to the right of the ace, if you have it, or the left of the ace if the dummy has it, finesse them. Mathematically, you finesse them. Finessing is 50-50. The chances they have only the king is less than 50-50. Okay, Wes Berger says, no, you should always play the ace. Then if the king falls, it's spectacular. And the fact that it's spectacular makes up for the bad math. Like the people are like, he played the ace and my king fell. That's more spectacular than just playing the finesse. So this move is better than the other move because it's more spectacular. That's what Wes would say. Wes knows the math doesn't work out. He likes the spectacular. You know, what can I tell you? Joey Dev's gifted a sub. Hooray. All right.
No, I don't know.
Are you ready? You sitting down? Mm-hmm. Okay, he played knight c6, confusing the audience. The other move that's winning is knight takes f5. They're both like +8.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, that's also good. But knight c6 is obviously more spectacular. Now, if you take with the bishop, I said if, then check, and then you always retreat. Checkmate. I like that, checkmate. I like that. They'll like it in the chat too. Remember to donate because the hype train's dying. 48 seconds. Okay, so obviously he didn't do that. He didn't hang mate. If you take with the knight, which he also didn't do, bishop takes d5. What would Cleveland Brown say about this bishop? It's threatening.
Cleveland Brown.
Yeah, from Family Guy.
I know who he is.
He would say it's threatening everything. Right? You see this bishop? Now that's a bishop.
Yeah.
This is no good for black. +9 for white. Okay, so he played the other move. If you don't take it with the knight and you don't take it with the bishop, and the knight's forking your queen and you got to play queen takes b3. You have to. No, the train died. You guys are the worst. Thanks, formerly 5IT. Okay, now the game ends. Watch how the game ends. Knight takes check, one legal move. King f8. Now the queen's attacking the rook with mate. So Tal plays rook e1, defending his knight, you agree, threatening queen h8 mate. That's a pretty good move. It stops mate and threatens mate. Pretty good. Okay, so bishop e6. Now queen here isn't mate because king takes knight. Now a weak player would play queen h8 check, king takes, and then take the rook. And then white's up the exchange. That's what a weak player would do. But Tal plays my favorite move.
I don't know.
One of the emotes. Tier 3 emote. Oh, tier 2. You made the emotes.
I don't know.
It's a tier 2 emote. It's the only one.
A tier 2. Oh, knife.
Knife f5. Bam. Now you agree we're threatening checkmate. And if you take the knight, you unleash the latent potential of the rook. So this is also checkmate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So after knife f5, black resigned. And as with previous games, this piece didn't move. These guys never move their pieces. Tal's pieces look pretty good. Yeah, so he resigned because it's mate. Like the engine says, queen c3. Queen c3 is one of the best moves. The best move is this, hanging your queen.
Yeah.
This is the second best move. Man, second best move, not too good. Yeah. All right, and then Talish resigned. Man, that was great. Knife f5, that's what I would have done, etc. All right. And then black resigned and then some. Great game by Tal. Okay, next game is very strange because it's Petrosian. That's not the strange part. The strange part is he's playing David Pachman. Can you believe that? Oh, wait, it's Ludwig Pachman. Sorry, I got confused for a second. All right, so it's Petrosian. And what country was he from if you don't count the Soviet Union as a country, which it was then? I'll give you a hint. His name ends in IAN. If your name ends in IAN, that's where you're from. That's the way life goes.
Armenia?
That's right.
Yeah.
He's Armenian. Yeah.
Chat does not know more about Ben than I do, but Chat does know more about Ben's TV shows than I do.
Formerly 5IT earned a 25,000 bits badge. God damn. That's a pretty good badge. All right, 2,100 viewers. Hooray. Are there more Armenians in Armenia or the U.S.? Are there more Armenians in Armenia or Glendale, California? That's a good question.
That's the question.
The answer is fries. Yeah.
Yay.
The Taw gifted a sub. Hooray.
Thank you, the Taw.
The guy says Armenia. The guy said Aronian. Aronian's the answer? What? Not sure if Aronian's the right answer. Could be. What did Elton John say about Aronian?
I'm sure it has something to do with Levon.
Yeah, he shall be Levon. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Darn, I'm hungry and needing caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's closed.
There are more Armenians on my soccer team than in Armenia. God damn. Okay. Now this is it. Now, if you were here when the stream started, which is very unlikely, I said I'm going to look at one game from every world champion. Hopefully you don't know the games, not their most famous games, but I made an exception here. Because now this, what Petrosian did this game, I have to show this game.
You're saying you've shown this game before?
No, I have not.
Oh,
but this is, if you said what are Petrosian's 5 most famous games, this is 1 or 2. So I have to show it. Okay. You'll see why. Okay. So it was boring because Petrosian's playing. He's a boring player. You don't fall asleep here.
I'm just looking a little bit at the chat.
All right.
You had some red curry, Steinitz? Yeah.
You see how boring it is?
I see.
You're like, oh, come on.
I love red curry.
Yeah, but how about how boring it is? Now, the game gets exciting. Okay, he plays bishop f4 attacking the queen. And then he plays knight e5, and after takes, he doesn't take back. He plays the Zwischenzug, knight c4 attacking the queen. Okay, and Pachman doesn't want to be a punk and go back to d8, because then he looks like, why'd I go to b6? He's like, all right, I'll go here. I don't know. All right, and the queen's no good. Okay, he puts it in A. Bishop d6. See? You see what I'm saying? All right, so he defends. Queen f3. See? You can't move your bishop. Okay, so king g7. Right? Okay, and now Petrosian plays rook e4. He can double up on the bubble up. He can start attacking with his rook, etc. Okay. And Pachman's like, man, that bishop's annoying. I'll play here. Okay. Man, that's pretty good. The engine doesn't see it yet. God damn. Wow, the engine doesn't see it. The engine's going to see it, but it doesn't see it yet. Wow, the engine still doesn't see it at depth 19? God damn. Yeah, and you will know Petrosian is the Lord when you see what he does here. So what did Petrosian do here? This is the most famous or the second most famous thing Petrosian's ever done. Okay, the engine finally sees it. And when the engine sees it, it says plus 28. But it didn't see it for like 30 seconds.
I don't know, maybe rook e5.
You know, rook e5. I said this is the greatest thing that ever happened, and you played rook e5.
You asked me to come up with a move.
Rook e5 is not a bad
Don't
move.
make fun of my move.
Not a bad move. But
Yeah.
I said I want to see the greatest thing in chess history.
I'm not a good chess player.
No, just what's the greatest thing in chess history? What's the last move you would play? Now you got it.
What, sack my queen?
There you go.
Okay.
Bam. Queen takes f6. He took, obviously. Bishop e5 check. Come to Papa.
Yeah.
So he has to move his king up.
About.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the key move. This is the move. And Fischer was like, now that's a move. Fischer really praised this move. Anybody can sack their queen, but this move is very hard to see. Although, now that this game is so famous, now we know about these kind of things because this game's so famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Pachman wasn't expecting Petrosian to sack his queen. That's not Petrosian's MO. Petrosian liked to sack the exchange and then make a fortress and draw. He didn't like to sack his queen and then mate his opponent. He didn't do that. The other queen sack that Petrosian played, Spencer also played that queen sack in another game and won the same way. I'll give you a hint.
We have to keep the king from running out.
Correct.
So bishop g7.
Correct. Bishop g7. Didn't need a hint. Bam. That king's not going back ever. And then we just made it. We got a lot of stuff over here.
Yeah. I saw that part.
Yeah. He resigned after bishop g7 and the engine announces mate. The absolute best move for black to get mated the slowest is rook takes d3. I guess that way there's no bishop f3 mate after h4. Then I take it, and then that's the end of that. That didn't help. Yeah, and he resigned. This is like Petrosian's one of his most famous games. Because he was known as a boring positional player.
Oh, really?
Then he sacks his queen and plays bishop g7. Now, obviously, here's the important point of the game. This is important.
Okay.
When Petrosian played rook e4, he saw queen takes, bishop e5, bishop g7. That's why he played rook e4. He was getting ready for the checkmating attack. Yeah. Rook d8's actually the engine move because the engine doesn't see the queen sack. The engine doesn't see the queen sack ever. Then when it does see the queen sack, it says plus 28. But it takes it a long time. You see how it still doesn't see it? And it's an engine. It's supposed to see 100 moves
I
ahead.
can't see it, but I'll
Right.
take your word.
And then after this, it says draw. And then after this, it says draw. And now it says mate in 5. Bishop f4 check also wins because you repeat and then you play bishop g7, which is funny. Yeah. Houdini finds it immediately. Can you show us a line to the end? Sure. I don't know. I'm going to play h4 check, king here mate, or h4 check, king here mate, or h4 check, king here mate, or h4 check, king here mate. I mean, you're getting mated. I don't know. I can show you what the engine says is the best for black. Rook takes d3, stopping bishop f3 mate, knight e3 mate. Then I take it. Then the engine's fresh out of ideas. But this is the best move according to the engine. Check, check. And then it says g4 mate. But bishop g4's mate and rook e5's mate. Bishop g4 mate is the professional mate. Low-rated players would like that. Only psychos would play that move. That's a psychotic move. Yeah. That's the pro move. Yeah. Also, knight e3's mate, but there's so many mates the engine doesn't have, Yeah. I guess rook f4's mate too. Damn. So the best that black can do is hang 5 different checkmates in one. Yeah. So he resigned here. That's right. I saw rook e5 mate. Crazy. Rook e5 mate. Terrible. Knight d6 is not mate. There's a rook here. But that wouldn't cost you. You could play another mate afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would play the pro move, and I'm not a pro.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about
Man,
you.
Petrosian, you were like, sack the queen. You were like laughing. Ridiculous. And then you were like, yeah, that's good. And then bishop g7 you found. Fischer likes bishop g7. He's like, that's right. Yeah, that was really nice. Rook e4, and he saw it all. Yeah. Anyway, black had good position here, except for one thing. Pachman was a famous player, too. Not as famous as David Pachman, but pretty famous. Yeah. He's like a chess author, grandmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Is one mate better than the other? Yes. Thanks for asking. Okay, that game was played in 1961. Okay, next world champion was Spassky, and I have a special treat for you. I can ask Karen a question, too. What movie did they reference this game? They showed the game. They changed it a little for the movie. The director wanted some things different.
Oh yeah, it was the pawn sacrifice.
No.
Oh.
No.
I'm just guessing.
It's the James Bond movie.
Oh really?
From Russia with Love. In the opening scene, there's a chess game going on, and it's this game. And the guy who's winning, he's Kronstein. In the real game, Bronstein lost. According to the internet, this is very hard to believe. According to the internet, Spassky and Bronstein played 22 slow-rated games against each other in their career. That's not hard to believe. And Bronstein never won. I mean, Bronstein was top 4 in the world for like 15 years. Yeah. All right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Columbo. Meet the Fockers. You guys are all banned. Never seen any of Spassky's games? God damn. You never saw Larson Spassky from the Rest of the World USSR match? You're banned from my stream. That's one of the funniest chess lessons I ever gave. The guy's like 1600. He's like a 10-year-old kid. And I said, what did Spassky play here? Okay, and he's like, I don't know. And I said, it's a rook move. And there was like 7 legal moves with the rook. He suggested the first 6. And I said, no. He says, well, I know it's not that. And that was rook h1. Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to get some water, but you can go ahead and start if you want.
Yeah.
Got to
Was it Bronstein or an actor? In the movie? What's wrong with you guys? Man, Larson Spassky, that was the beatdown of the century. That's what the name of that game should be. Beatdown of the century. Reference in Saved by the Bell. Well, I'm sure they drew many, but you got to beat them once. Also, as is well known, Shirov never beat Kasparov in a slow-rated game, and they played a lot. They played between 25 and 30 times, I think. Man, the truth hurts. Yeah, that's a great opening scene. That was a great demo board they had. So what happens in the movie is he's a criminal. He's got to kill James Bond or whatever. So they give him a note during the game. And it says, like, we need your presence immediately. So then he checkmates the guy so he can, makes the guy resign so he can go do his criminal activities.
Why did they alter the game?
The director didn't like some things. He said, move those pieces there. I don't know. Okay, you ready for this? Spassky Bronstein. It was a King's Gambit. Spassky, one of the few, if not only, world champions who played the King's Gambit a lot. Okay. Spassky's white. Just a normal King's Gambit. About equal. Nothing special. 2 bishops. What else? Okay. And the engine says white's slightly better here. Clearly better. C5. Bishop has to retreat. Okay. Now Spassky wants to line it up on the bubble up. He wants to line his queen and bishop up and do that queen h7 mate. So he plays bishop c2 and, so forth. Right? Okay, so the engine wants to play f5 and block it up, but he played rook e8. He's going to put his knight on f8 and stop mate. Okay. Now the problem with rook e8 is it undefends f7, so there's some other issues. Okay, he plays e2 attacking the rook, and now Soltis, who's not somebody you should pay attention to, but he's a grandmaster, he said, one of the deepest sacrifices this side of the evergreen game. Soltis must have known about my lecture about Anderson. Now, you notice how he played e2 attacking the rook. So he wants white to take it, so then white doesn't have all this attack, right? And Spassky, like many of my other, commentary, said, you will know my name is when he played this move. Now, if you play knight f6 check with the idea of mating him, the knight takes and defends the mate.
Right.
Okay, so he played knight to d6. So he's unleashing the latent potential. Right. Okay. So he played knight f8, stopping the mate. Right? And then Spassky's like, you want my rook? Go take my rook. Knight f7 attacking the queen. And Bronstein's like, I do want your rook. Okay. That's a lot of sacrificing. And the engine says white's winning already. So if you play queen d5, which looks sort of normal, I could play knight h6 check, and your queen and king are lined up, so bishop b3 is going to win your queen. So instead he played bishop f5 attacking this queen. And after takes, he played queen d7. He's already won a rook, so he can sacrifice his bishop, trade queens, get his other rook out. He's still up material. And Spassky just retreats his queen and says, whatever, I got this monster attack. Bishop f6 is the engine move. Knight e5. Now that's an attack. God damn. Jesus Christ. Okay. Attacking the queen on d7. Queen e7. Bishop b3, switching diagonals. That's a good diagonal. Bishop takes, knight takes check. It's discovered check. You can't, you can play king h8 or king h7, doesn't matter. He played king h7, queen e4 check, and then he resigned here. Now, if you don't resign, you have to play either g6 or king h8, right? Okay. Either way, doesn't matter what move you play. I play rook takes f8 check. So for example, g6, rook takes f8. Because I want to take here. So let's take with the rook. I don't know, something. Takes, here, takes, mate. See the bishop? Cool. And if king h8, the same. It's the same deviled egg. Rook takes f8 check. And now it's mate. It doesn't matter which way you take. I play check and double check and mate. So after queen e4 check, he resigned. And in the game, the guy knocked his king over and said, excellent game, and he clapped his opponent.
Oh, he did?
In the movie.
Oh, in
the movie he's like, wow, you're the greatest. Yeah, very suspicious. But anyway, we say this every game. It's becoming a habit, right? So maybe black was John Nunn. You get that? They didn't get it. None of them got it.
They got it.
No, none of them. No. I can't believe you got it. None of them got it. Zero.
They definitely got it. Come on.
None of them. See, he did not. See, there you go.
And
Yeah.
Bangtown got it.
I don't get it. Yeah, there we go. Bangtown, California explained it. Yeah. All right. Man, so as I was saying, the habit, see that rook on a8 did that move?
Right.
No, and then look at that bishop. Look, I mean, look at white's pieces. God damn. I mean, that's, this guy was no joke. That guy was almost the world champion. He's like, should have been the world champion, but, politics. Lousy Democrats. Okay. Simpsons. Yeah, it was Simpsons. Mo said he would have been a great boxer, but it's all politics. And then Homer said, yeah, lousy Democrats. Yeah. Also, Mo never won a fight. That's also lost every fight. Yeah. Yeah. Mo had a great line. He said, I was kid, what did he say? I was kid gorgeous, then I was kid presentable, then I was kid ugly, and then I was kid Mo. Because he got punched in the face a lot. So, yeah. And also, Mo, this woman who ran the TV station, she wanted somebody to be in a TV show. And so they brought in Mo. And the woman's like, oh, God. And he says, you said ugly. And then she said, I said TV ugly, not ugly ugly. And then Mo said, I've been called a lot of things before, but not ugly ugly. Yeah, Mo was a good manager, though. Yeah, go whatever. Yeah, kid gorgeous, kid presentable, kid Mo. Finally, kid Mo. Pug ugly, yeah. Fugly, yeah, he's been called everything. Okay, so that was Spassky. Now, I didn't show the game Larson-Spassky from the rest of the world USSR match because it's been shown like a million times. But if you don't know any of Spassky's games, that's a good game. That's the first one you should look at when the stream is over. Larson, Spassky, 70-71. Whatever it takes. That game didn't last very long. That's what she said. Okay, next is Fischer. Obviously, I could show any Fischer game. They're all good. I sort of randomly picked this one because I like the end of it. I mean, I could have shown any game. You know. Now, in my 60 memorable games, the name Martiner does not exist. It just says René Letelier. It doesn't say that. I don't know. All right. All the games are miniatures, obviously. The Sugar Me Do, that's right. You should have thought of that before you gave me the Sugar Me Do.
Hey, do you have those vegan snacks here?
Probably.
I might go see what's in there.
All right.
You can just go ahead and start.
No, I'll wait.
Okay. I'm just really hungry.
From Mount Lushmore. You should have thought of that before you gave me the Sugar Me Do. Must kill Mo. Wee! Must kill Mo. Wee! Hey, Homer. You look unusually focused this morning. That's a great line. Go Mo.
Darn, you don't have any more of those candy things.
I'm sorry.
I ate 2 packs of them.
Didn't I bring you chocolates?
Yeah.
But Spencer had one. It says, if this tastes good, double your money back. These are the vegan snacks that somebody sent me like a month ago.
They're good. Whoever did that, thank you.
Yeah. You
And
keep doing that.
I'm not even vegan.
100 centimeters.
But I liked the...
What movie were we talking about in the last game?
Candy.
From Russia with Love. It's a James Bond movie. You wish you had more of those chocolates? Actually, I always buy 3 at the supermarket in the checkout lane. But if you go where the candy is, like just the candy, then you can get a lot of them. And I used to do that. And Karen said, don't do that anymore.
Okay,
And then
'cause I
they're,
can't stop eating
they're
them.
always gone as soon as I bring them home because
Right.
all 3, do both kids eat them or just
yeah.
both of them?
And all of us
Who
are
eats
just-
more, Arch or Holden? They both just eat them.
Close, yeah.
Yeah, those are good. And I ate those before you guys were born, but now that I'm a vegan, I get vegan chocolates on the internet, and you get $100,000. It says it's a guarantee if it tastes good. The vegan chocolate. I still haven't had anything taste good. Yeah. All right. 2,300 viewers. Hooray. Okay, so Fischer's black. This is the famous King's Indian game where Fischer doesn't play D6, and the guy tries to punish him. He watch white. He goes, "Rawr, look at me." Okay, I'm Sandra Oh. Now, of course, when you push all your pawns and your king is in the middle, you could get in trouble. And by you could get in trouble, you're going to like the end of this game. Okay, and then Fischer keeps attacking all these pawns. And the guy's like, yay, a free pawn. And Fischer's like, whatever. Because you can be a pawn down when the guy's always doing this.
Yay.
$9.99 on Superman. The more you guys donate, the more money we have. Okay, then they traded some more. And the guy's like, I have an idea. I move these 2 pieces. Let's move them again. Okay, and Fischer's like, whatever. Okay. So black's obviously better because white's nowhere near castling. Queen B1. I think he tried to do this, and then he can't castle with the queen. Queen B1 is a move I would never, ever, 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 ever consider. Ever. How does somebody play a move I wouldn't consider? I wouldn't consider it, then reject it. I just wouldn't consider it.
What's the point of it?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I would never, ever play Queen B1. I don't know. Okay. So we're going to see the point of it next move. After takes, he played F5. That was the point. So he's defending this. All right. He's a better player than I am, except for one thing. Okay, Fischer played E4. The engine actually takes on F5, but okay, E4. Opening up the bishop and the queen and threatening the knight. These pawns are weak. This king is on E1. Okay, cool. Takes on F6. The engine wants to take with the queen. Take on F3. take on f3, f5, threatening f4. And now white took on passant, and half the people in the chat are like, I guess, I don't know. And you remember Malvina from St. Louis. In a similar position, not this one. I was teaching en passant. So like Mario was there and Malvina. Okay, and Yasser. Okay, not Yasser. And Malvina said, if my pawn's on a6 and the guy plays b5, can I take en passant? And I said, no. And she said, but I want to.
No.
All right, so, I mean, you want to take on, okay. So he stopped f4 by playing f4. Okay? And now Fischer saw that these squares were weaker because the pawn's not there, so he played knight f6. And now he has e8 for his rook. And you can see this king, okay. Rook e8, king f2, takes. He put his king on f2 instead of castling because he wants to defend. Okay. Rook e1, rook e8. Material's equal, but obviously, you know, that's good for black, and this is not that's not good. Okay. Bishop f3. And now Fischer played one of the most famous combinations of all time. Are you sitting down? Okay. He sacked an exchange because Fischer knew eventually I would stream this game, and I like to sack the exchange. Okay, you agree? Sack the exchange. Okay, and you will know Fischer's name is the Lord if you find this move. Make sure it's a move you would never, ever, ever play, and that's the right move. Find a move you would never play, and that's the right move.
I mean, there are a lot of movies I wouldn't play.
This is the first one you wouldn't play.
What, sacking a queen again?
Where?
Well, you'd have to take on f4. That's a move.
Yeah, if you take it, then black's better because it's mate.
Oh, wow.
You like that mate? That's like Petrosian, walking that guy's, you know.
I couldn't even tell it was mate.
Yeah, that's mate. That's a cool mate, right? Yeah. Now, the problem with not taking the queen is, you know, it's no good. So obviously, if king e2, knight d4 check is, you know, winning everything, right? So king f2 is the only move that makes any sense. He resigned, which was apropos. That was good. He should play king f2. That's the best move. Then knight g4 check. Damn. Now it's hard to suggest a move, but that's defends the bishop. Check. And then here. Now these aren't the only moves that win. Black has a lot of moves that win, but this is like the engine's announcing mate and saying plus 65 and so forth. Yeah. By the way, this is good defense.
Yeah.
Remember how I said the rooks always never move? The guys never move their rooks? What are they doing? Yeah. So I like what Fischer did here. A lot of things win here. A lot of moves are like plus 5, plus 6. But this is, he should have taken and got mated. That's how the game should have ended. That would have been great, right? Yeah. So remember, always sack everything. It might work out.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. How's that snack?
This is not bad. You know, tactical wizard, sometimes you don't have to share every thought that pops in your head. 2,400
viewers a do. All seeing this queen sack. This is a game from my 60 Memorable Games, the Fischer book. That's the game that I chose for Fischer.
I prefer the beard too, but you know.
Okay, now, you guys in the chat, you think Shirov is good. You guys are like, Shirov, he's the greatest player that ever lived. Yeah. All right. Now we'll show you what Karpov did to Shirov. This game was played in 1992. Now, Karpov was born in 51, right? And let's see what the month was, because then I'll know if he was 41 or... Oh, it doesn't have the month. It was in Biel, so it was in July. So Karpov was... What year did I say this was? 92? I mean, I played in Biel, but I think it was 93. I played in Biel in 93, but not in 92.
Oh, yeah.
So Karpov would have been 41 when this game was played. Let's see. F the haters. All right. All right. So they play a really solid, boring, not very interesting semi-Slav. Okay? Lots of theory. And Karpov plays a boring line because he's Karpov. You know, what do you want? Okay. I'm pretty sure I had this position against Ray Robson before Karpov was born. Okay. And Karpov's like B3. Very Karpov-esque. Okay. Not too exciting. Not very exciting. Mm-hmm. All right. Karpov trades everything. Plays A4 because the pawn's on B5. That's one of my rules. Okay. Now Karpov plays knight G5. He gets into it. He doesn't do it to mate his opponent. That would be gauche. He just wants to play knight here and attack the bishop. All right. Slightly better for white. No big deal. Okay. Now the game takes quite a turn. So far it's pretty boring. White's better because this bishop sucks and this bishop is great. So white's better. Okay. Now Karpov, me and him were like, "That, son." And Karpov knows my favorite move is, unlike Karen, Karpov knows what's my favorite move. We talked about like 5 times today. Tier 2 emote.
Knight
Right.
F5.
Right. So how do you play knight F5 from E4? Well, he's Karpov, so he just did it. All right. So he played knight G3. Obviously wants to go here. Now, what's my least favorite move?
F3.
Right. Or if black plays
F6.
it. Right. And he plays F6. F6 is a really bad move. Now, when I say it's a really bad move, obviously, I mean, in general, it's a really bad move. But here, it's really bad. Okay, and Shirov is trying to thwart this. And obviously, F6 weakens the white squares. It seems that Shirov was not familiar with the white square symphony game. Can you believe that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, unbelievable. No, obviously, Shirov was familiar with that game. Okay.
You're good, man.
All right. Now, Karpov takes the knight. Oh, give me the knight. Okay. And actually, you should take it with the F pawn, which is strategically quite bad. Isolated pawn, weak squares. But you took it with the queen because that makes more sense. The reason Karpov played bishop takes E5 was the knight was defending D3, and now the knight's not defending D3. So bishop here, how do you save your H pawn? And Karpov realized there's not a good way to save your H pawn. Mm-hmm. Right? If you play G6, I can always sack on G6 and knight F5 and just mate you. H6 is strategically ridiculous. F5 hangs a pawn, and that's the engine move. Mm-hmm. Grandmasters don't just give a pawn away. Say you played H6. Oh, God. Ugh. I just ate. All right. You don't do that against Karpov. Don't do that. And when you're done with the stream, obviously I told you to look at the game between Larson and Spassky from 70-71. But more importantly, now you can look at the White Square Symphony game between Karpov and Kasparov. Okay. So bishop G6. Knight F5. So those pieces are pretty reasonable, right? Right? Mm-hmm. What's this? What's all that? What's all this then? What's that doing? Ridiculous. Thanks, Bumbling Petrov.
Yay, Bumbling.
Okay, now Shirov's like, dude, this bishop has sucked for a long time. That's enough. Play C5. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a mistake because Karpov trades and plays rook A7. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if the pawn was on C6 and I took, you could take with the pawn, opening up the bishop, and the rook can't jump over the A6 pawn. But he's had enough of his bishop sucking. So he's trying to get activity. All right, now he's getting them 6 ways from Sunday. All right. Queen C7 defending. Now he plays knight H4, unleashing the latent potential. Imagine if white could play bishop H7, knight G6. You don't have to imagine. It's going to happen soon. Okay, rook takes D1 check, forcing the queen away from that nonsense. Rook A8. Now, you ready for the trick question? Mm-hmm. Did Karpov trade rooks, or did he sack the exchange? By the way, black has a lot of pieces defending his king, except for one thing. They're all over here. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, you guys make fun of Karpov. You're like, Karpov's a boring player. Karpov wins drawn endings. Karpov's just a very strong version of Carlson. Are you ready for this move? I don't think you're ready. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He didn't do any of that. I was just kidding. He played Queen G4.
I just dropped a piece.
That's okay. So did Karpov. He dropped his rook. So if you take the rook, which he didn't do, obviously, Queen E6 is annoying because it checkmates his opponent. Queen E8 mate. Yeah, okay. Also, if you don't take the rook, Queen E6 check is annoying. So Shirov played Queen C6, stopping this. Now Shirov has counterplay, or so he thought. Now you sack the exchange. Now black doesn't have any counterplay. Now white can win at his leisure. Queen check. Bishop E4 with the skewer. But more importantly, he could play queen here and here, or he could play knight here. Also good. Okay, so in this position, Shirov resigned. Good idea. Okay, and somebody on the internet had a really nice variation here where the game could have ended, but that's not what happened. And let me see what the variation was. It was really cool. Oh yeah, here what? You ready? Mm-hmm. Now here black resigned. Shirov resigned here. You can see the engine says +10, +20. Watch this variation. Somebody on the internet said, what happens on Queen A6? Okay? Mm-hmm. So they said check. The king has to go here. Check. Right? Okay, here. Check. You have to go here. Mm-hmm. Check. You can't play king F8 because mate. Check. Mate. By the way, that's a good defender, that bishop. Yeah. Yeah, Karpov didn't go down like no punk. So after bishop E4, Shirov resigned. I mean, that's just a great game. That's like almost an unknown game from Karpov. Taking Shirov out back. See, you see this pawn structure here? When the guy has these three pieces, don't do that. You see what I'm saying here? Mm-hmm. Yeah. When Karpov lost, when Kasparov lost to Karpov in the White Square Symphony game, for similar reasons, it wasn't this bad. I mean, it's Kasparov. He like barely lost, right? Karpov was infiltrated, but I mean, this was just, yeah, etc.
Yeah, it was kind of like the smothered mate.
That's what it was. Yeah, no, Karpov, god damn. Yeah, the better you are at chess, the more you realize how much white's winning here. You're just like, oh, God, why is Shirov black in this position? Mm-hmm. The king can never escape ever. It's always going to get checkmated by everybody.
I forgot what year you said this was in.
1992, unless I'm wrong, which I probably am. 92, yeah. And Shirov sort of sacked the exchange. What's my wife's waiting skill level? 1300-ish. Yeah, F6 was terrible. Correct. Okay. Then we got Kasparov. I tried to find a game I've never seen before. This was played in Begonio 1982, before Kasparov was the world champion, against Lubomir Kovalik. Now, I have seen this game, but I think most people haven't, right? So Kasparov plays the King's Indian, and he takes Kovalik out back. God damn. Now, this game was played after Montreal 79, and as you all know, they don't know. And it was a double round robin. And the second half of that event, Kovalik actually had the best score. That tournament had a two-way tie for first with two former world champions. And by former, one of them was the world champion, Karpov. The other one was Tal. That tournament also had Timon, Spassky, Kovalik, Hubner, possibly Hort, possibly not Hort, Luboyevich, etc., mainly etc. Strong tournament. Which defector was banned from the tournament? The Soviets wouldn't allow it. There was a boycott of this player, but it was an unspoken boycott. The Russians would always tell the organizers, if this player plays, we're not sending our players. So he wasn't playing in the event, even though he was strong enough to play. He defected in 1976. Korchnoi. Yeah, so they wouldn't. Now, there's the famous Lone Pine story. There's a big open tournament, and by open, it's 2,200 minimum. In Lone Pine, California, and the Russians came, and Korchnoi snuck in. They didn't know Korchnoi was coming. So then the Russians phoned back to Moscow and said, what do we do? And they said, just play, you're there.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because they're there. What are you going to do? Yeah. We talked about this today, Spencer says.
Yeah, I couldn't retrieve that information.
All right.
I remember.
Fen Beingold subscribed with Prime.
Yay, Fen
2,400 viewers a do. This is about the time somebody secretly donates 50 subs. Don't tell anybody, it's a secret.
We talked about Korchnoi having a hard life, maybe. But we didn't.
Don't ban me. All right.
I was complaining about his treatment of Polgar.
Let's see, etc., etc. Okay. This is a great game by Kasparov. Not his most well-known game. Before he was world champion. Okay, so we have a typical King's Indian. Kovalik played the H3 variation, not the most common. Which American grandmaster always plays H3 against the King's Indian? He's had white in this position 30 times. I'll give you a hint. He always stays at the Hilton. He never stays at the Hilton. That's a joke.
I don't know.
That's you got to get it after that.
I don't get it.
What's Hilton's first name?
I don't know.
Conrad.
I didn't even know that.
Well, now you do. So it's Conrad
I don't know.
Holt.
Oh.
Yeah. He's your favorite.
I've heard of him. I don't really know anything about him.
He plays H3 against the King's Indian.
Okay.
Okay. So this is Kovalik Kasparov. Kasparov plays like Kasparov, as was the style at the time. Put it in H. Knight B4 sacking a piece. Now, if you play G3 and the guy doesn't move his knight away, you got to take that knight. Otherwise, you're a punk. You can't play G3 then go, oh, well, I won't take the knight. It doesn't matter if you're losing. So the engine takes the knight and says black's better, but it's still the best move. You don't play G3 and not take the knight. Okay. And obviously, Kovalik's king is no good because the center is going to start opening up here and it's going to be harsh. Okay, Kovalik played queen there. Terrible because, we have D3 for the knights now. Okay. And obviously, black's winning here. Black's crashing through and white's position is shallow and pedantic. All right. And now Kasparov knew I would lecture on this game. So what move did he play?
Let's see.
No, he should have taken the knight, but then the center opens up and white gets in trouble. However, here white's in trouble and white's not up material. So he should have taken the knight. By the way, the engine doesn't play Kasparov's next move. But Kasparov knew that I would be streaming this game many years later, so... Pinky Jim gifted a sub. Hooray.
Well, I don't see it.
What do I do? Always...
Retreat.
Okay,
Bishop
good.
F8.
Good. Keep going.
Knife F5. Can't do that.
Good. You're doing good, though. Always sack the exchange.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, king takes doesn't look too good. So knight takes. Bishop G4. Now, you've heard of the Perpetual Chess podcast with Ben Johnson. You've heard of Perpetual Check. Now you've heard of Perpetual Pin. How is he going to get out of that pin? All right. So he goes here, and he's like, yeah, I got 2 rooks, 1 for each of you. Knight D1, terrible. That's a blunder. Queen F7, god damn. And now he won a piece, but now he's pinned. Pretty funny, huh? Not too funny. Okay, he gets out of the pin. So black's up material here, and white's getting run over totally. And white's a really good player. He's U.S. champion. He's played on the Olympic team. He did the Cavavalanche game against Gufeld when he was a kid, right? But he's getting tore to pieces. That's what Kasparov did in the early 80s. Now, you guys always get mad at me when I diss Carlson, okay? And my diss of Carlson is he's not the greatest player who ever lived. You guys consider that a diss. It's like fifth. Okay, now, when Kasparov wins, when Carlson wins, if he does win, I'm not saying he wins, but when Carlson does win, he's a pawn up and he has a better king and he wins in 90 moves and he ties for first with Wesley So. When Kasparov wins, he just runs over his opponents. It's embarrassing. I've never been so mad. When Carlson plays a world championship match, he draws Anand, well, he beat Anand. He draws Karyakin and wins in a playoff. He draws Caruana and wins in a playoff. When he qualified for the world championship, he lost in the last round with white against Svidler. And then Carlson went to the stairway and was crying. And then Ivanchuk beat Kramnik, which let Carlson play for the world championship. If Kramnik had won that game, Carlson would never have been the world champion. But because Ivanchuk, who lost all of his games on time, beat Kramnik, then Carlson's like, yay, now I'm the world champion. Very suspicious. Kasparov in the 80s, he won all the tournaments by like 5 points. He didn't win by half a point. He didn't have 37 draws in a row. He just ran people over. He didn't draw in 5 seconds in the last round and hope that Wesley So didn't win. That's not what happened. Kasparov just won every game. That's what he did. And one of the greatest players who ever lived, Anatoly Karpov, they played great matches. And if Kasparov was never born, I've said this before on stream, Karpov would have been world champion for like 90 years. Nobody was beating Karpov in the 80s or 90s, right? And then Nigel got lucky because Karpov got old. Also, he played better than Karpov. Karpov would have been world champion for at least 20 years, which is unheard of because Botvinnik never... Okay. Anyway, look at this position. I've never been so mad. What does the engine say? Plus 11 for black, right?
So wait, how long has Carlson been world champion?
Good question. Nobody knows.
Yeah, I don't see anybody that's going to beat him anytime soon.
You're probably right. Yeah.
So maybe he's not
Carlson
so bad.
could beat himself.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's all right. All right. So A3, and then bishop takes E4. Rawr. Always play bishop F8. Check. Knight C1 is like an amazing final move. And then he resigned. The idea is you're attacking the queen. You agree. If the queen moves and doesn't defend C2, queen C2's mate. If the bishop takes the knight, then queen takes C1. So that's a really cool final move. Reminiscent of Piquet versus Kasparov in a King's Indian when Kasparov played knight H1 as the last move. Now he plays knight C1. All right. So obviously, Kavalik's getting beat to death this game. And this was, near the height of his power. 82, Kavalik was pretty good. Because in 79, Kavalik was playing the best players in the world and, 50%. Yeah, but not Kasparov. Yeah, before Kasparov was world champion, he was winning all these tournaments with huge scores. Scary. I've never been so scared. A bug. So, I made that up because I'm showing I'm scared.
Oh.
So, when I went to Tilburg in 1990 and or 91, it might have been 89, Kasparov got 12 out of 14. And then I'm thinking like what Carlson would have got. Probably 7.5 out of 14. Terrible. Now, this was a double round robin. He played 7 games with the white, 7 games with black. That's why it's 14. What was Kasparov's score with white out of 7?
How many did he...
How many points did he get out of 7? Yeah.
Wait, what year was his?
89, 90, or 91. Whatever year I went there. I went there 2 years.
6?
7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good score, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kasparov was pretty good. Yeah. All right, and then resigns, because resigns was a good move. The engine says black is plus 12. God damn. There's a lot of Kasparov games between 1979 and 1985 where he just runs over his opponent. It's like a bus hit him. And those guys are top 10 in the world. It was very embarrassing for them. And then Ulf Andersson, when he resigned against Kasparov, he said, I will not play with Kasparov anymore. Well, that's it. This game's over. He didn't like playing Kasparov.
Yeah.
Ulf Andersson never lost. When he played Kasparov, then he lost all the time. Because Kasparov was good.
He said he didn't want to play more just because it was demoralizing, or
No, that was how he finished the game. He says, I will not play with Kasparov anymore. That's how he resigned.
Oh.
Well, that's it. Yeah, because he's getting the beat down. Yeah. Karpov was old. Karpov winning Linares 94. Karpov's like the greatest player who ever lived. Unfortunately, Kasparov was beating him. Yeah, I mean, Karpov is unbelievable. Okay, so we got some good world champions. Now we got Kramnik. This is, again, I never saw before. This is in the World Championship Tournament in Mexico City in 2007. And he's playing Morozevich because Morozevich is a very swashbuckling type of player, right? Yeah, he's the Robin Hood of chess.
Okay.
When I went to the Tall Memorial with the Karu in 2011, Morozevich was the highest rated spectator. He was there every day just watching. He was like number 12 in the world. He wasn't invited to the tournament. Man, harsh. Tough tournament.
Did you travel with Hikaru, or did you
Correct.
meet him over there? Oh, you did?
Yeah.
On the same plane?
I stayed at his parents' place in suburban New York, and then we took a limousine to the airport. Yeah, and then on the same flight. Yeah, I was working with him.
I know you were, but I just didn't
Yeah.
know if you met him over there. If you...
No. Even when I was over there, we didn't meet. Oh, snap. Truth hurts. Blah, blah, blah. Kasparov, Carlson, Morozevich, loves chess. Okay. So, for a Kramnik game, this was not boring. God damn. This is like the least boring Kramnik game I've ever seen. Kramnik plays boring usually. So it's a Catalan. That's a Kramnik kind of opening. He sacks on c3, and he doesn't take it. You like that pawn structure? See?
Wow.
Yeah.
Checkers.
Never play f6. So f6 attacks the knight, and Kramnik's like, whatever, I'm the world champion. So now, what happened? So white's down a piece, but again, black's position's a little suspicious, right? Kramnik not known for sacking pieces for unclear positions. Okay, very suspicious. All right, now white wants to play c7, unleashing the latent potential and forking. Okay. So bishop e6, takes there. Now the queen's defending the pawn because this pawn's not here. See how this pawn's here? Now it's not there. So now c7, the pawn's defended. So then you're threatening this and this and this. God damn. So c7's annoying, right? Okay. d3 attacking the queen. And he plays c7 anyway. So this game's too complicated. Games like this is why Morozevich was good. Because this is his style. Kramnik, this isn't how he plays. Okay, queen d4, threatening the rook, threatening the queen, threatening the knight, threatening the rook. Kramnik plays the best move, queen a4. You can't take this pawn because this is hanging. If you ever take the rook, this is hanging, and now the queen's not hanging anymore. Knight d7 is the engine move. Bishop e3 attacks the queen and saves the rook. Bishop takes rook, takes. Bishop f4, saving his c-pawn. b6. b6 is a great move. That's pretty good, right? Okay. Now, I would take that pawn whether it's good or not. And the engine says after you take this pawn, queen c6, attacking every piece. So white's winning, but it's still the best move, knight b6. Okay, he played knight e5. He's playing for mate. He's going to play bishop here, and knight here, and queen here, and mate him. Takes it, queen f3. Now, if it's black's turn to move, it's not black's turn to move. Then bishop d5, bishop h3, right? Yeah, that's pretty scary, isn't it? Now, Kramnik plays the best move. Always retreat. What retreat did he play that wins? It's by far the best move.
Let's see. I guess queen d1.
Correct. Setting up for the next game and kicking the queen out. Obviously, black can't trade queens. White's up material and queening. Play queen e4. He still wants to, do that. b7. So he's hoping for queen takes b7, queen takes d3, and white's up material and stop the attack. That's what black should do. Black played rook f8, and Kramnik's like, I got 2 pawns, 1 for each of you. Queen's one of them. Bishop d5, threatening mate. Now, Kramnik played the best move, and yet the worst move.
Okay.
So what move did he play? Remember, don't get mated.
Yeah, I guess maybe f3.
Right. It's the engine move, but it's f3, so that's no good. And then Morozevich resigned because he's down like a queen and a rook and a bishop and a knight and a pawn. Yeah. And then resigns. So that was the craziest tactical game ever with Kramnik playing virtually perfectly. And that's really not his style. That's Morozevich's style. But I mean, when you're a world champion, if he was the world champion, you could play anyway. And you get sort of an idea when he played a world championship match with Kasparov, if you consider that a world championship match, which I do, Kramnik didn't lose any games. So when you play 10, 15 games with Kasparov and you don't lose any, you're pretty good. Or pretty, right? Larry David would agree. Man, he's up a queen and the exchange. And he's got pawn ready to queen. Damn. Okay, and black resigned for obvious reasons. But that's a really wild, insane game. Because you got this crazy pawn structure like this. And then after f6, he's like, yeah, whatever. And he takes all these pawns. And white's pawns just keep going. Well, I mean, let's look at white's pawns. I mean, he just kept pushing his pawns, and then he's winning. Yeah. Great game by Kramnik. Let's see. What does the Gawking Ramble say? Kramnik boring, lost his mind. Is Karen bored? f6 is illegal. Never play f3. I don't understand why b7. b7 is also winning, but after b7, I take it. And b7's winning. There's nothing, but after b7, he would take it. So he just played queen d1 first. Then when he played b7, if he takes it, he can take on d3. So after b7, queen takes b7. Which is winning for white. But this is more winning. The engine says so. Always play the engine move. Yeah. Why queen the c pawn instead of the b pawn? The engine queens the b pawn. Yeah, but Kramnik was playing the game. He can queen any pawn he wants. They're both winning, so he picked one of them and queened it. Yeah. Usually, when you're playing the guy who's top 5, top 10 in the world, like Morozevich was at the time, it's not like, which pawn do I queen? Unusual circumstance. I got 2 pawns of the 7th. What is this, Laborde McDonald? Are you kidding me? Yeah. Now they all lose their minds, that's right. Okay, now we got Topalov. And some of you don't consider Topalov the world champion. That's fine. I like Topalov because I spun him around over my head. So I like that. Yeah, then he stopped winning games after that. He's playing Arkady Naiditch, right?
He's really nice.
Naiditch is a nice guy.
No.
Yeah, I know. And the end of this game is really nice. The very end. The beginning is okay. Okay. So this was played in Dortmund 2005. You know who used to play for Dortmund in the Bundesliga?
No.
Me.
Oh.
That was my team. Okay, so it's a QGA by transposition. They played the Vienna variation. Okay, this is all theory. This has all been played a million times. Okay, and this is like where my theoretical knowledge ends. I don't play either side of this. I'm sure the players are both still in theory here. I just don't know this position. Okay, so somehow material's equal. I'm not sure how. A6 is a mistake, I think. Should play rook d8 first. Yeah, now white's better. I think b5 is also a mistake. Always retreat. Okay, and obviously white has a big lead in development, an attack on the king. And attacks the rook. Okay, so now Topalov finishes the game off very nicely. They played a ton of theory, and I think Knightish made 2 mistakes. And then their moves were okay, and then Topalov played knight e6. So you got to attack the guy when his pieces are still here, because that's how the stream goes. Okay, you have to take. Now you have to defend your rook. Can't lose your rook, right? Moves his rook. Thanks for the 1,000 centidues, Fen Beingold.
Yay, Fen.
Rook g3 threatening the queen. If the queen runs away, g8 is mate. Queen g8, rook g8, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to play queen f8 because the engine says so. If you play queen f7, for example, that's annoying. It's more annoying than you think. After here, instead of winning the queen, now that's annoying, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So queen f8's forced. Rook e1, getting the last piece into the attack. The knight can't go to c6. It hangs everything. So these pieces are still stuck. Rook a7. Okay. And this is why he played rook e1. What did white do here? The whole point of this game was just to show you this position and the move that he played. It's funny because every game we look at, somebody's rook never moves, but here the knight never moved, which is weird. Mm-hmm. The queen knight never moved? That's strange in a QGA. And also, rook a7 was the last move of the game, so until that, these were here. But you can see this king is no good. So, white's king, conversely, is very good. Anyway, this move is highly recommended by me. Let's see. Most of the chat has it, but some of the chat is wrong. Yeah, Topalov and me are like, that, son. Yeah, Topalov's great. Go Topalov.
Can't you go? Let's see.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Queen g8.
Then queen takes.
Oh, wait, maybe queen e8.
Queen e8 is okay. The chat's suggesting that. Then I assume black would play rook f7, but I'm not sure. And then I don't see anything for white.
Let's see. Go rook.
Yeah, Dante is correct. Yeah, Topalov's great. 2,369 viewers a do. Go viewers.
I'm not sure.
2,400 viewers. That's the most we've had. Okay, I'll give you a hint. What's the move you would never, ever, ever play here? Ever. You'd never play it. That's the move. That's why I'm showing the position, because it's great.
The move.
What move would you never play? Play that move.
There are a few moves.
Well, name one of them.
Let's see. No. I mean, I wouldn't play rook, queen takes d7.
See, that's good. The problem with queen d7 is you're giving your queen away for a rook. How about giving your queen away for nothing? A rook, you would do that. Nothing, you wouldn't do it. Give your queen away for nothing. And while you're doing that, I'm going to thank Fen Beingold for 2,400 centidues. Thank you. Now that's a donation and a half. Go Fen Beingold. A new record. That is correct.
I don't know, queen e7.
See, close. You couldn't be closer. Yeah, you play queen f6. Check.
Oh. Oh, yeah. And just get back right mated.
Yeah. See, when you're playing like a 1200, sometimes you sack your queen for mate. But when you play 2700s, they don't let you do that. So when you do it, it's really awesome. Like you saw more than like one of the top players in the world. So Steinitz resigned because he got his king and queen forked. And then rook e8 is the next move winning. Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah, queen f6 is awesome.
That happened to me, Jimbo. I got gift subbed and I wasn't
Queen
even on
f6.
stream.
Yeah. Yeah, Papa John's is correct. All right, Jimbo Matthews is going to do something. He's preparing to do something.
Yeah?
Yeah, he said, since you often ask about gift subscriptions.
No, then he's told a story.
What, he did?
He got
I just
a gift
received a gift sub while watching
while
this
watching
one.
this one.
Oh, that was, I thought it was like 90 gift subs just coming. Yeah. All right, we have 2,459 viewers, which is the most we've had this stream. And we're going to be off Chess TV any minute. Then we'll get 245.9 viewers.
No, Bonarici
No, the stream's not going to end. The stream's going to end when it ends.
it will have to end after the Carlson game.
Yeah. Okay. Also, we don't forget Anand.
I know.
Okay, Anand Gelfand. I really like this game. The problem with the game is when the game ends, you guys are going to be confused. That's the only problem. But the game's really exciting. So, yeah. All right. So Anand Gelfand. This game was played in 1996 Vikonsé. Okay, and Anand played the Grand Prix attack, very rare at the top level, very rare, with in the Sicilian. I'm pretty sure h6 is a bad move. King h1, put it in h. And the engine says this is about equal. Taking on e5 looks wrong. Black wins a pawn, but at what cost? Look at that black king. Terrible. Okay, now Gelfand makes a bad move. g5. Boo! All right. And Anand says, you will know I'm 5-time world champion. Okay? Now again, when you're playing the best players in the world, you can't just sacrifice and beat them because they see it coming. Or so you thought. In fact, the engine doesn't play this move yet. Bishop takes g5, sacking a piece. And Anand just has speculative play. He's like, I'll win. I'm a piece down, but look at that mating attack I have. Okay, knight g6 is the engine move. And Anand's just like, yeah, whatever. I'll just keep attacking. In this position, the engine prefers black, but not by much. But I think if humans are playing, they're always going to take white here because white just has a big attack. It's too hard to play black. He played queen e7, and Anand did it again. Another like wild speculative move that the engine plays. Rook f5. Notice the pawn is pinned because the queen, so forth. Bishop f6. The engine still likes black. Knight takes e6. Now, again, at the Super GM level, the only time we see people playing like this is when Tal was good. When Tal was playing other Super GMs, he would sack all his pieces and somehow he'd win. But nowadays, if you sack all your pieces, you're like, where'd my pieces go? Now, black has one move in this position where he's not losing. And I think only an engine could find it. I don't think a human can find it. Now we know who's cheating. Now, before I said if you find it that you're cheating, but a lot of you found it that weren't cheating. Now if you find it, you are cheating. Now, black has one move here that doesn't lose.
I didn't even see my guess anything.
Yeah, this is too hard. I've seen this already, so I'm cheating. Ah, very good. Yeah. Yeah, some people know this game already, so they know the answer. Mm-hmm. The only move is rook e8. That's not a move a human would play. See, that pins the knight, because you can't move the knight. Okay, he didn't play that. The move that he played gets crushed. He just took the knight. Rook takes e6. God damn. I wonder if he saw rook takes e6. That's the only winning move, by the way. See, here's the point. Ready for the point? The queen is overworked. If I play queen takes knight, you just play queen g7. After rook takes e6, if black plays the obvious bishop takes e6, and white's down like 40 pieces. Okay, and now I take this. If you play the aforementioned queen g7, now I got this action. You can't play king h8 because of here. So you have to go here. The queen's still pinned. You have to go here. And then taking either way wins. And black's pieces all disappeared. Yeah, so Anand is good. And you guys will never understand. Never. Never. And if Yasser ever comes on the stream, if he ever wakes up, if he does, Yasser understands. But you guys don't. And it makes me sad, and then Karen's confused. Anand used to be so good, and he saw everything, and now he doesn't see anything. And by not seeing anything, he's still like number 14 in the world. Like, Anand doesn't see anything now. Nothing. Anand like draw with people who are 27, 2800 by seeing nothing. But in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, Anand saw a lot. God damn. He saw 100 moves ahead every variation. And Yasser knows that because Yasser's seen it. Yasser's analyzed with him. You guys are just like, this is Anand's rating. Anand won these tournaments. If you look at Anand's wins from the 90s and then look at his wins now, his wins now are 28 moves of theory and the guy makes a bad move and he wins. Anand's wins in the 80s and 90s was all hell broke loose on the board and Anand played engine moves every move. That because Anand saw everything.
But what's your point?
That's sad.
You can't. It's not
I'm
sad.
I'm sad.
He's 50.
I want to see 50 or 51 in it. I want to see the old Anand, which is the young Anand.
You can't expect him
No. I'm just saying
same.
they don't understand how much Anand saw because they weren't alive yet. They see Anand now and they're like, all right, Anand's pretty good. When Anand was good, now let me tell you a story that'll make some of you cry. It's a true story. Mm-hmm. Many years ago, I'm going to say 2007. I think it's 2007. Mm-hmm. A sponsor showed up and wanted Nakamura to play a speed chess match with Kasparov. And Kasparov said no for $100,000. He refused. Okay? And Naka told me, yeah, I would win that match because he was Naka, right? He said, oh, I beat Kasparov. I said, you might even win the match. And he said, oh, no, I would definitely beat Kasparov in a blitz match. Because then he continued with, this is the part you're going to cry about. He says, not Anand, I'd lose to Anand. And I was like, what? I've never heard a crowd say anything like that. Oh no, Anand would beat me, but not Kasparov. God damn. That's how good Anand was. A guy's like, not Anand. But Kasparov, yeah, Anand. I'm not playing Anand for money. God damn. Mm-hmm. So like Anand in a slow game is sacking all of his pieces, and it's good. Sacks his bishop on g5, rook f5, knight e6, rook e6. And he's not playing doofus. He's playing Gelfand. Gelfand was almost the world champion. God damn. Now look at the engine evaluation. Right? Now what's funny is Gelfand plays the engine move here. King g7. Because that's not good. And he plays h4, putting it in h. Now, the material situation in this position is white has a queen and 3 pawns for a rook, bishop, and knight. I would generally take the queen and 3 pawns, but it's close. However, with the other games we looked at, like these pieces didn't develop, and 2 passed pawns, and the king is exposed in h5, the engine says white's like totally winning, +6. And here Gelfand resigned. I would never consider resigning in a tournament game if I was black here. Never. It wouldn't even occur to me to resign. But he was right. I mean, he's totally crushed here. I wouldn't resign because I got a rook, bishop, and knight for queen. But the engine's like, yeah, resign. Yeah, so after you put it in H, and then Gelfand resigned. That was an amazing game from Anand because he just sacked all his pieces and he was winning. What is he, Morphy versus Doofus? Yeah. Let's see, Anand, etc. Yeah. In 1988, Anand played in a Blitz tournament in Germany. They had a category 6. In 88, Anand was like 2560 FIDE. To show you how ridiculous that is, I used to be 2560 FIDE. So when Anand was 2560 FIDE, they had a round robin in Germany with like Gelfand, Christensen, Anand, and some German players and some other players. It was like category 15 or something. And Anand got like +1, and Christensen won the tournament. During the rest day, they had a Blitz tournament. Anand got 15.5 out of 16 in the Blitz tournament. And he wasn't world championship strength at all. He's just really good at Blitz chess. Man, Anand was good at Blitz chess. Now Anand's not good at Blitz chess. Man, he was good. Anand saw everything. You never see anybody see everything except Fischer, Kasparov, Kramnik, and Anand, and that's it. Just those 4. Yeah, frankly, Carlson's ridiculous. Also, Naka was pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, Larry. No, Carlson doesn't see everything. No. Carlson's like Karpov. Karpov and Carlson understand everything. They don't see everything. Kasparov and Anand don't understand everything, but they see everything. It's different. It's beyond the scope of this lecture. See, like, Karpov understood chess better than Kasparov, but Kasparov saw every legal move to the end. That makes up for a lot. Mm-hmm. If you can calculate hundreds of variations every single move, you do pretty well. And that's what Anand did. That's what Fischer did. That's what Kasparov did. And Kramnik could do that too. Carlson just looks at the position and says, this is the right move, and he's right. And that's what Karpov did. And so forth. I have spoken. All right, last game of the stream. Karen says, thank God.
I'm tired.
Carlson
but
versus
I'm not bored.
Carlson Doofus 2004. Carlson was only 2581 FIDE. I had to find a game of Carlson's you didn't know, which wasn't easy, but I did it. I did it. Carlson's like a weak version of Karpov. That's all. Okay, so you see, you never heard of that guy, right? Exactly. Nobody's heard of him. I was talking to his mom. It's like, who? Yeah. Okay, so Carlson's white. This game was played in 2004 in the Olympiad. He played for the Norwegian Olympic team. How old was Carlson in 2004? Let's see, he's like 29 now-ish. And that was 16 years ago. So he wasn't too old. Yeah. One more game. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Don't blame because, Carlson. Okay. All right. So Carlson's white. Carlson's a little kid this game, but he's still higher rated than I've ever been. All right. Now, what's funny is I have white in this position all the time. This is the Queen C2 Nimzo. Okay, Queen B6, the Romanician variation, threatening F2. And then after E3, you can't get your bishop out. For example, the game that I beat Dmitry Gurevich in the 2005 National Open in the last round where I tied for first was this position. Okay, they fianchetto their bishops. Got to fianchetto something. Now, in this position, I usually play bishop E2 and I push my G-pawn. But he played knight B5. He took a different tack. And then long castle. Super aggressive. And then after castles, instead of going to D6, which looks like the idea, knight B5, rook D1, he played knight G5. And I've played this idea too, just not in this variation, different variation. So the obvious idea is we want to take the knight and then queen H7 mate. Mm-hmm. Okay, so black's already losing according to the engine. White's just jumping all over him. Okay, so he played rook E8. And he's like, you take my knight, you play queen here check, I play king F8, and then my queen's going to come in here later. So Carlson, even though he's a little kid, he put it in H4. E5, blocking the bishop, so the bishop can't take the knight. Knight d6 attacking the rook. Take. He puts it in h. Now the problem with taking the knight is if I take, I'm opening the h file. Very dangerous. So Carlson plays queen f5. Man, Carlson's got a lot of it. You see what I'm saying here? He's got a lot of attacking. Yeah. Okay. Now the guy made a blunder. The best move according to the engine is queen e7. But he blundered. He played knight c6. Developing a piece, terrible. Horrible. Now, the reason this is a blunder is very funny. Okay. This will take some explaining to do. Rook takes f6, threatening here. And then black resigned. Okay. And you might be asking, which is what I would be asking, well, wait a minute. Why is knight c6 a blunder if after queen e7 he can still do that? And the difference is this bishop is on the diagonal here. And with the knight on c6, which was the blunder, developing a piece is a blunder. Now the bishop doesn't control this diagonal. So now, if you play the obvious queen takes rook, now the bishop doesn't control the diagonal. Now knight e4 wins, which is very funny. You want to play bishop a3 check and mate. And you can't play knight e4 if the bishop's on b7, it just takes it. So knight c6 is a blunder. In this position, if the knight was here, if it was there, black's fine. But with the knight on c6, he's dead lost because of knight e4. Now the knight attacks the queen. The queen can't go to e7 because this is mate. And I'm going to play bishop here check. And you can't ever block on e7 with anything because this is mate. So knight e4 defends d6. That stops bishop a3 check d6. Because the knight's here, so you just take and win the queen. So knight c6 is double question mark because it allows knight e4. This is a very easy move to miss because white's retreating. But white really wants to play bishop a3 check, and the knight a4 is very complementary with an e, not with an I. Which you understand, but they don't. Right? You agree they don't understand it. You really don't agree to that?
No.
See, English major, I knew she'd understand it. English literature. But still, but these, you guys, they don't even speak English anyway. I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah. Not convinced he beat Caruana. Yeah, puzzle pawn's like, what? Yeah, very good. They're having a separate conversation about Caruana.
Oh, what are they saying?
In the Carlson-Caruana match, they drew 12 games.
I know.
Then I guess that's what they're talking about. He didn't beat Caruana. Yeah. Very uncomplimentary of you. Very good, Mr. Popezilla and or Mepex. Okay. So Carlson, who's known as like boring Karpov, right? He plays like knight g5 and rook d6 and queen f5 and sacking the exchange. God damn. That's when he was a kid. Luckily, he's playing doofus, so it all works. That's actually the translation from, yeah. And then the guy resigned after rook f6. That was a miniature. God damn. Yeah, and then he didn't resign here. Or did he resign here? Yeah, he did resign here. Yeah, because after this, it's all over. Bishop a3, queen h8, Papa John's. The engine move here after knight e4 is king e7, hanging the queen. That way you don't get mated. See? And the engine actually plays here first before taking the queen. Mean engine, right? Yeah. That is better because then when you take, I agree with that. This is slightly better than taking the queen. So that was all the world champions. Some of you think Ponomaryov, Halifman, and Kazimzhanov were world champions. They were FIDE world champions. Very suspicious. But the way they won the world championship wasn't through a world championship match against the previous world champion. They played like a 128 player rapid knockout with playoffs, and somebody won. The best players in the world didn't play. Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Does he read the chat just to know? I never read the chat ever.
He reads the chat, but he doesn't read it every line.
Right. Also, I do read it every line, but I'm teaching chess here. Yeah. None of the other streamers ever read the chat ever, and if they did, they would continuously throw up forever until they were skinny.
No, they do read the chat.
No.
They do.
Never.
I'm on a lot of streams.
They don't read the chat like I do.
They read the chat.
Not like I do.
I
No.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
They do.
No, and they're banned if they do.
No, they do.
Yeah.
Might be surprised to know that Hikaru actually reads a lot of his chat. He probably has less to read because a lot of his chat's just spam and emotes, but the chat that's real chat he does read.
Never. Yeah, now what you have to do for homework, you at home, look at the game from the rest of the world, USSR, Larson Spassky was game 1. And then look at all of Anand's games between 1989 and 2000. Look at all those games where he won. Because he sacked all his pieces and calculated 100 moves ahead. Then don't look before or after that. Don't look at the game Zapata Anand, for example, from 88. Don't do that. And you have more homework, too.
Hey, B. Cavani is using compliment.
It was not a compliment. What? What? How do we find this games? On the internets. Or in ChessBase. Or anywhere. On the moon. In your dreams. Yeah. That's one of Futurama's best lines. Don't listen. Oh, Kangaroo's asleep. Kangaroo just started watching Futurama. It's like, that was the greatest episode. He's only watched like one episode. It was like one of my favorites. There's a scene in Futurama where Fry is confused. And he's like, I had this dream and it was like a commercial. And they're like, well, yeah. He's like, what do you mean, yeah? He says, well, there's commercials in your dreams. Didn't you have commercials in your dreams in the year 2000? He's like, no. He says, we only had commercials and then he named everything. He's like, in newspapers and magazines, on TV, on the internet, in the sky, at racetracks, at baseball games. He went on and on and on, but not in your dreams. And everybody had the same dream because they put commercials in your dreams. Then they all went shopping to the place because, low prices. Yeah, but not in your dreams. Yeah.
Man, I'm tired.
You were tired yesterday. What'd you do?
Well, we got up early to take the cars. I was tired.
Yeah. All right, the stream is over because there's only 1,400 people watching. Terrible. More than Naroditsky and Rosen combined. Can I read this guy? See, look. He's Mozart. See?
Yeah, that's who we should rate.
E. Holterman is continuing the gift sub. We can do a raid if you want, but I'm leaving the stream soon, and you guys don't like to raid. You guys like to complain about raiding or something.
That's who we should rate.
All right, I'll give you guys 3 minutes to start a raid. I'll tell you what. I'll give you pi minutes.
A train or a raid?
Yeah, a train. I was close. I'm old.
Hey, you missed a gift sub.
We can start a train, but you get pi minutes.
Or not a gift sub, but
The one that I read? Yeah, E. Holterman is continuing the
said
sub.
that.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
I
you.
don't understand this continuing this, I don't know.
That means he
I know what it
paid
means.
for it himself, and
Yeah.
somebody gave him a gift.
Should I ban the Scottish demon goat?
No.
Because look what he wrote.
That's all right.
That's not all right.
You're wrong, though, Scottish demon.
Yeah, obviously
goat.
you're wrong. Ralph Wiggum is 100 cent to dues. Yeah, and don't forget.
Yeah, you're wrong, Scottish demon goat.
It's not the first time.
You're welcome.
Karen's also known as God because God is my co-pilot. The people who think God should be the co-pilot, do you agree with that when the pilot passes out? Do you still want God as your co-pilot?
He always says he's joking.
I know. All right, we need one more donation of 100 centidues or a sub so we can see if a train gets started. I'm not sure if a train will get started, but it might. Anybody? Anyone?
Also,
Yeah, it started. Thanks, Philite.
yay, darn, that means we have to stay another 5
You don't have to stay. We have different cars.
Well, I want to stay to the end.
All right. I could tickle you. That'll wake you up.
No.
What?
Good cop, bad cop.
Would you rather I tickled you for 4 minutes straight or you listen to Phil Collins for 4 minutes straight? Like the worst song.
I could take the Phil
I know,
Collins.
Frosty Balrog is gifting a sub.
Yay, Frosty.
Let's find out. Let's do both.
No.
I'll turn on a Phil Collins song while I tickle you.
No. I'm gonna leave.
Does nobody know?
You're
not
means
gonna- you're
no.
not gonna
I
leave.
am gonna leave.
Don't you have all your stuff here?
Yeah, I just have to pack it up.
Yeah, you'll never leave. You should start doing it now, right? Because it'll take you like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but I want to see. Might
Oh,
as well
okay.
see the end. I want to see the rest.
Somebody donate 50 subs so Karen can leave. That'll put us level 5. Or tier 5. Or height. What is it? Level 5. You saw Phil Collins live? Damn.
Who said that?
600 cent Frosty Balrog.
Frosty Bottle. Really?
Fen Beingold. What movie? God is dead, Satan lives. What movie? I don't know. It's possible I didn't see the movie. Then I definitely wouldn't know. Susudi, that's a pretty bad song.
That song is horrible.
That's pretty bad.
That's the worst.
Rosemary's Baby. I saw that movie maybe. I think I saw the whole movie. That's a scary movie.
What's the question? I saw that.
He said, God is dead, Satan lives. That's one of the quotes.
Oh, it is?
I mean, that's 50 years ago. What do you want me to do?
I saw it.
Yeah. Stranded musicians give 100 centidues.
Yay.
Level 2. Boo, boo. I mean, good guys. That was my favorite stream today that I did. Yeah. So tomorrow's Wednesday, so I stream 8 to 11? I think that's right. And I'll come in tomorrow early and make some more current event videos. Yeah. I was supposed to do that today, but I was busy. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. Oh, that's Pulp Fiction. That movie's about my uncle. That's correct.
I'm so tired. Tomorrow night I might go to karaoke.
Might not. Man, Bona Ricci, you all right over there? Say no to drugs.
Boy, the Wakeland mule.
Bring out the GIMP. That's right. Yeah, we're still arguing whether the GIMP is dead at the end or he's just unconscious. What do you think? Vote. Let's start a poll. Is the GIMP dead or unconscious at the end? My friend says he's hanging there, but that doesn't seem right. It seems like, I don't know. Why hasn't Netflix made a spin-off series about the GIMP? I don't think they're going to do that. I hope he was unconscious. Oh. Too dark for him to be dead. What do you mean it's Pulp Fiction? Everybody's dead in Pulp Fiction. He's probably dead. If he's not dead, he's going to get killed. PST, no. 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. Ah, that guy might be right. Neither one is EST. It's EDT and PDT. So you were sort of right. You tried to make the joke, but it didn't work. It's 8 p.m. EDT to 8 p.m. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, in fact, that's ending soon. Daylight time is ending like in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I think. Yeah. Yeah, see, Abe Froman, I thought that too. When Marcellus Wallace and Butch made up at the end, Marcellus Wallace doesn't know that Butch killed John Travolta. He's going to find that out later. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree. That's sort of unspoken at that point. I don't know. That's a good question. Does EST exist when it's EDT? I mean, it sort of does, but it's an hour different, so you wouldn't use it. It exists, but it's not. That makes no sense. I mean, I could tell you what time I'm streaming other times that aren't available, but why would I do that? If I'm in Atlanta, why am I telling you what time I'm streaming when it's in Chinatown? Why would I do that? I mean, I would do it. 100 centidues from Jay Copper.
Yay.
AKD 707 subscribed. Hooray.
Why so serious, Endocrine? I'm so exhausted.
When you gone, you stay gone. Or you be gone. Just use GMT? No.
I did a bunch of chess and I got up really early. I'm gonna go straight
She's not serious. She's tired. Watch, I'll tickle her. You'll find out.
No, do it.
Trying to wake you up. I have stuff in the trunk to put in the house. I'll do it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I got you some stuff, and I got the dog's food. I got some other stuff.
Oh.
I went to the store, then I came here.
Oh,
I didn't go home.
I bet the peanuts melted. Oh yeah, it's cold now.
No, they didn't melt. Yeah, yeah, it's like 60 in my car probably. Yeah. All right, we died at level 2. Boo! Boo!
Yay.
All right, I'm gonna raid somebody nobody likes now because of that.
They do like them.
Yeah, I should raid this person, but I won't. But I should.
There are several people.
I should.
No.
Yeah.
There are several people that are rateable.
Because yesterday.
I would definitely say that Naroditsky would be above that.
They're playing a match right now.
Who is?
Him. It says he is.
But I would.
It says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other guys.
Boy,
there are like 3 or 4 that I like. At least.
But it's my stream.
I know.
And another thing,